So thanks so much for joining us. This is the MeWe Awakening panel for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. Today's theme is on working with the Fae and the elementals. We have 7 practitioners on the panel tonight. We will be sharing about ourselves, our practices, and since so many of you work with the Fae and the elementals, feel free to describe that as part of your introduction. So we'll go through and just do one set of introductions for everyone, maybe like 3 minutes or so. And then we're here to answer your questions. It's free to be here and listen and learn. And then it's $15 to ask a question of the panel. Let me start getting our information in the chat for you, so you can see who's going to be here. And then also, before you leave us tonight, we have a feedback form. It would be great if you could fill out the feedback form if you want to leave us your information. Whoops, did it all get copied? Let me do that again. If you leave us your contact information, you'll get entered into a drawing for a free 30-minute session with one of us of your choice. And you'll get to be on our email list and learn about all the other things we have going on. We have another panel coming up on Sunday on animal communication, animal spirits and guides. And we have fairs. And then we have another one coming up on the 26th. We work with, we'll have about 16 practitioners. That's also free to attend. You'll get to hear free talks, a free intuitive panel where we briefly answer questions from the audience. And all the practitioners will be available, giving talks and doing sessions and doing sample readings and things like that all night. All kinds of things going on here. Let's see, so in the chat, I'm putting contact information for all of our practitioners that are here tonight so you can see who we are. And we're all gonna go through and do introductions in just a moment. So MeWe Fairs has been having events now for, it's almost 7 years, I guess like 6.5 years or so. We started off in my house, just about 6 of us in the living room, just offering our work at tables. I didn't even know I was running a fair. Our fairs have grown to be in 4 cities, mostly in Oregon and Washington at this point, but we're expanding. We've been having online events for 1.5 years, almost 2 years now. And yeah, it's exciting. We now have about 5 or so a month. All right, everything is in the chat, and let's go start doing our introductions, I think. Is there anything else? I should say, if you know you want to ask a question, we're going to be putting people in line. I haven't looked yet. Let me put this at the bottom of the list again. If you know you want to ask a question, it's $15, and the easiest way is to pay in PayPal, but there should also be an Eventbrite link and the Facebook link, and if you want to ask a question and you don't have PayPal, you can text me, and I'll put my number right here in the chat, and then I can call you and you can pay on Square, for example. There you go, that's right there in the chat too. But let us know that you want to ask a question so you can get in line. We're going to have a great big list tonight, is my guess. All righty. Well, let's see, who would like to introduce themselves first? We're going to go in, so just about 3 minutes. Maybe I'll help time everyone, because we've got so much we're going to do tonight.
Can you guys hear me?
Let's see, we can. Let me get you on screen. Oh, and if everyone else could stay muted except who's chatting, that'll be great. I'll make sure we mute everyone. Okay, which practitioner wants to share first? No, which practitioner wants to hear first? So wants to share first? I thought I heard one of you. No, sorry.
Oh, Psychic Cindy said yes.
Whoops. Yeah, sorry. Okay, Satora. Sorry, I have a little bit of technical difficulty here for a moment. Cindy, are you wanting to share? I just can't, you're muted. That's why I can't tell.
Here we go.
All right, great.
Hi, I'm Cindy McGonagle, and my website is cindymcgonagle.com, and I love the fairies. I have a fairy queen named Queen Dee. She's the regional fairy queen for the general Portland, Vancouver area. I've been working with her as a partner, learning about nature since the early 90s. She helped me write a couple books that you can find online, and the newest version is called Queen Dee's Fairy Recipes and Magical Potions. When you work with the fairies, it makes your life so much lighter, and I hope that all of you have had the experience of working with the kingdom before. One of the greatest things that they'll teach you is how to connect with nature at a very deep level. And when you open your heart to nature and not try and control everything in the garden, the most magical things happen, okay? I can put my hand on some clover and ask the fairies to bring 4-leaf clovers, and they'll make the 4-leaf clovers. It's just amazing. They can do almost everything, you know. And don't forget the gnomes, okay? I was reminded tonight to please bring in the mineral kingdom. Hello. My very first student brought me a very large crystal. And I was like, oh my, look at this. And it's called a record keeper. And they've told me that when the crystal, when I first received it, it was totally white. And I've worked with it now for so many years. And they told me that my end of life will come when that crystal is completely clear. So it's showing me a lot of rainbows now. I just want you to know that the rainbow can come into your life as well. Open your heart to the fairy kingdom and let them in. All you have to do is request a fairy to be your friend. First thought back will be their answer to you. Communicate now with trees. Trees have such great wisdom. And did you know that if you talk to one tree of a species, you're connecting to all of the trees on Earth? And that is such wisdom. So open your hearts to the trees, please. And if you want more information, check out my website, look at my YouTube channel. Thank you so much.
That's great. Thank you so much, Cindy. All right. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention too, in addition to answering questions tonight, I think all of our practitioners have a special that they're offering for people that attend the event. That information's in the chat too. So we're all available for private sessions as well. All right. Who wants to share next of our 7 practitioners?
I'll go.
Great.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Rina-fay London, also known as the River Witch Fairy. I am a fairy shaman. I am fairy incarnate. If you don't know what that means that I am a fairy soul. Basically, fairy runs through my blood, probably actually in my physical ancestry, even in this life, as well as I've reincarnated and lived as a fairy for many lifetimes. So through many of my lifetimes, I have either lived directly in the realm or been very connected to it. And I am just so excited to be here. This is like Christmas. And I really just would like to call in really quick all of the fairies and elementals for the highest good of our knowledge right now. All of the people who are here to learn something new about fairy, maybe are deeply connected with fairy but don't understand why. And I would just like to call in with love and gratitude those beings of the fairy realm who wish to help us and connect with us and guide us to the magic and mystery of this realm. And so mote that be. Fairy is honestly the heart of my life, my purpose. I have learned through so many wonderful adventures and as well as dark challenges in my life, how to navigate through being what I am and also working with these beings. I have learned about healing and magic and plants, as well as darkness, things that are very dark, and the sides of fairy that are not maybe so friendly or sparkly, because there is that side of the realm as well, and that side also runs through my blood. And so even in those dark spaces within the realm, there is magic and wisdom, okay? Just like within the shadows of each and every one of us. So fairy has so much to offer the spirit seeker and teach. So I really am just happy and blessed to be here and help to guide anyone who is looking toward the path of the realm and to work with the elementals. I am offering a special tonight. I think it's like 33% off fairy readings. And, you know, with that, I connect directly with fairy. It's something I do in my work and everyday life. You know, I connect directly with the fairy beings that are around you, maybe on your property. You know, a lot like a medium connects to your beloved dead, I connect directly to fairy. And so I help to guide people in that way. And, you know, I'm really here to chat with anyone about any area of that realm and to help guide. So please don't hesitate to find me after the panel or connect with me. And again, gratitude to my specific fairy guides and gratitude to all of the fairy guides of everyone here tonight because they brought you to this panel.
Thank you so much. All right, practitioners, who would like to share next? Go ahead, Jamie.
Hi everyone, I am Jamie. I'm also known as the Shift Witch. And I was that kid crawling around on the ground, picking up every rock that she saw and putting it in a shoebox. And yeah, I still have the shoebox. My husband was like, "What is that? A box of rocks?" I'm like, yeah, it kind of is. When we moved in together the first time. So, you know, I'd always talk to those. And then if I wasn't crawling around on the ground, I was high up in a pine tree, usually pine tree. Those are the easiest ones to climb when you're a kid because you're short, you know? So I was always at the top of a pine tree swaying back and forth, just talking to it and the rest of the forest. And then I always remember also lying in my room and watching the fairies just dance around on my ceiling. Oh, and my favorite thing, anyone else remember Thumbelina? Like Thumbelina was a thing. Yes, this shows my age. It's okay. It's fine. But yeah, so I had all of these little things that just added up over my lifetime. And then, but I didn't have a name for them. I didn't really know what it was. So through, you know, finally getting old enough to do some research, taking a trip to England to Glastonbury, highly recommend it. And later really understanding how I could work with the Fae and elementals, first for my own protection and healing, and then with others. I have 3 different elemental wands. I'm just gonna bring one out for you guys to see at the moment. This is Uma, and she's a little unicorn, and I just love her to bits, and her little sweet personality that can also be not so sweet, just telling you right now. But they all play such a absolutely beautiful part in my life, and then I got so lucky to be able to share them with other people as well. So the special that I am actually offering tonight is I have a program coming up called 3 Full Moons, and we work on ourselves, loving ourselves, our connection to self, our connection to the elements, our connection to the spiritual realm, the fae, the forest, the air, the trees, everything. And so I'm offering a 44%, because I like fours, discount on my program if you contact me tonight to sign up. That starts October 1st. And I also will be offering healings with my 3 wands, and we can meet and you know, just have a meeting at a different time on Zoom and talk about what it is that you need to work on. What could help you at this time. So I'm really glad you guys are all here. I can't wait to hear what your questions are. I love getting to share these things that light me up, and I love seeing everyone else light up, talk about them too. So have a great night, and I can't wait to answer your questions.
Great, thank you so much. It's great. I was teasing earlier evidently, that maybe I don't work with the Fae. Then I'm like, oh yeah, I got one of these too. Like, oh yeah, okay. All right, maybe it's all over the place. All right. Who's next? Who wants to share next?
I'll go ahead and go. I am Galactic Ashley, and I channel divine guidance for star seeds, connecting them to their star families and galactic lineages. And I primarily use light language frequencies and work with your cosmic connections to facilitate high frequency healing transmissions and encoded activations. And for me, the first being that one of the first beings that I consciously worked with was and is a dragon. And this dragon is basically, I would say, omnipresent in my energy field. And I have come through in this lifetime with a very strong galactic and dragon emanations. So about 3 years ago, I received an invitation from a dragon consciousness, and they have defined themselves as from beyond the threshold of creation. And so they have been played a prominent role in how I connect with a lot of the galactic beings that come through that I channel for people. And the messages that mostly have been coming through as to why the dragons have been making themselves present is one, for healing. So there are dragon lineages that connect to Atlantis and Lemuria. And so there's a lot of healing that needs to be done. And those dragons have been making themselves present and known. So it can help to connect with your dragon lineages, especially those that know that they have healing from Atlantean timelines. Also, as we shift on the ascension timeline, we are being asked to have our bodies also shift. And because shape-shifting is a prominent skill set that dragons hold, they can come in and help you remember. And they are also able to embody all of the elements within themselves, so they can help you connect with the crystallinity that is within you and all of the elements, and help you to balance within your life that which needs balancing. And another really amazing thing that has been happening, especially for those that I sort of loosely label as Gaia's guardians, and so these might be your shamans, your earth mamas, and the healers, is that oftentimes there's a Fae race, and they have defined themselves as the new star Fae. So in many ways they are coming from new earth, from the quote unquote future, coming back to help you as well, to work with your own skills. And what that means is there is a hybrid program, but they call it like an enlightenment hybrid program. So there are these galactic races that have merged and sort of united with these very powerful Fae races, and they've just defined themselves as the new star Fae. And it's really awesome, and they've come up in people's readings, and it always makes me feel really good when beings from future timelines come to sort of help us in this present moment, especially with everything that's been going on. And the dragons especially have been coming in to help us heal with the fire, especially for those of you that are in the Pacific Northwest or California area. So they have a lot of wisdom that they're ready to impart, especially with the equinox that's coming up. It's a time for us to be able to connect with a lot of the solar flares and this high vibrational energy that's coming through, and to take the opportunity when a natural state of balance is presented to us, to find where we need balance within ourselves and where we wish to go. So I'm very happy to be here and to work with all of these wonderful practitioners and to meet all of you. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Galactic Ashley. All right, great. Who else wants to share? I think we've got 3 more of us. Who wants to go? Okay, go ahead, Wyatt. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Wyatt. I am a shamanism practitioner as well as a spiritual life coach. I basically combine the ancient practices and modalities found within shamanism, which is found throughout the world, as well as the modern practice of life coaching to help you and any of my clients to really begin or move forward and continue their path of healing, giving them these wonderful navigatory tools to surf the winds of change and to not really to go with the flow more than becoming a wall and just letting the wind blow past you. So with that said, I do work a lot with the wind and different elementals. I work with Mother Earth quite a bit and her wonderful body in which we live upon, and she has imparted a lot of wisdom really recently. As far as like the Fae, I may not work with them nearly as much, but they are very playful, and they come here and again to come and play, kind of remind me that they're still here, that they're still very present. They like to, you know, take little crystals that I need and hide them somewhere else. They're very playful. So yeah, I am also running a special. So for the first 3 people who sign up tonight gets an intake session for free, which is a $160 value. So I'm pretty excited, and I'm just really excited that I'm here and get to meet with all of you. Anyway, yeah.
Great, thank you so much. I think there are still a couple of us to share. Is it, where's the other one? Yes, that's who I thought was next. Go ahead, Satora.
Hi, I'm Satora with Well of Love. I'm a channel and an energy healer. And I actually just remembered in the course of my training, I had an initiation where we got connected with the fairies from the center of the earth. And one of them is with me all the time. I have a deep connection to nature and to the earth. I talk to all beings. That includes computers and cars and everything. I believe there is an intelligence in everything, because all that is creation is created from divine energy and has divine intelligence in it. So elementals, for example, they can help with material things too. And I'm specifically, I have a job tonight. It's the great opportunity we've been waiting for. There is a group of beings that I call the guides, devas, helpers, and runners. Different groups of different beings that all in their frequency are closer to the material realm. And their life purpose is solely to help us. Especially the runners and the helpers, they can help us with our daily life, with daily tasks, with material things, such as the simplest example, find a parking spot. They can get you a parking spot. But what I've been experiencing lately, I just moved and I had to get a few things because my life situation is totally different now. So all my packets arrived early. I asked for help with that, and all my packets arrived early. And a friend of mine, she's having huge trouble getting anything, and all her packets arrived late. So this is just an example of all the kinds of helps you can get. Any project that you have, you can ask for help. And these beings, it is their purpose to help, and they delight in helping, and they want you to know about them. So all you have to do is just talk to them, however you want to call them, it doesn't matter. And they thrive on appreciation and just acknowledgement, and they are very sweet and they are very eager to help. I do run a special too, 30% off your first session. There's a session that's a combination of channeling and energy clearing, energy alignment, or energy healing for an hour. That is, the special price is $77 and 30% off. And 30-minute session is $45, also 30% off. If you have financial hardship, you can negotiate, and I can give up to 70% off, because I don't want anybody's hardship to prevent them from having access to help. And I think that's it for right now. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to connecting more.
Oh, that's great. I think all the practitioners have shared now, except for me. And just while you're still on the screen, I want to say that part of what I'm an intuitive, my name's Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader, and I'm not aware of how I work with the Fae. And what I realized is talking with everyone already today, I know I'm sensitive to Fae energy. I notice it in the world, and I experience it, see it, and feel it in different places. And Satora's glasses with the little sparkles on the sides of her glasses are one of those places where I feel this energy and see this energy. So yeah, I just wanted you to be able to see that with Satora. And then just some other examples of things in my life that are meaningful to me. So sometimes little crystals, like I can feel fairy energy in little crystals, right? So I imagine other people can too. And then I collect images sometimes where I can feel the energy of them. Or when the Shift Witch was talking about wands, I have a wand, right? And then I don't know what these are called, but these stones. Let me see if I can get the shadow to show, yeah, the pattern of these stones. I don't know what they, right? Like magical stones. And then those are stones that I bought, not stones that I found. And then stones that others have painted. And I just feel that sort of energy, magic in these stones, right? And so it may be the artist. It's part of what and this was at a fair, and I chose to buy one for myself, and then my good friend bought me this one, unbeknownst. No, I did not realize she did that. Oh, I'm an intuitive eye reader, and I might not be sharing much tonight. Depends on what people are asking. And I believe that we all read each other's eyes, that eyes are a window to the soul, and I'm able to interpret your soul through your eyes and share about your life purpose and answer questions about your career path, relationships. You can show me photos of other people and I can talk about them and your connection with them. And these are for matchmaking and all kinds of things. And oh great, yeah, other people are talking about all kinds of other connections with, yeah, creatures and the Fae. And I've been running these events for, well, the MeWe events in various evolutions for over 6 years. I'm thrilled to do these awakening panels online now. We'd only done them in person. And gosh, for the rest of the night, so the 7 of us are here and we're available to answer your questions. It's free to be here and listen. And it's $15 to ask a question of the panel. It's possible that all of us will answer. It's going to depend on how many questions we get. Usually if you ask a question, the first, second, or third question, you get a little more time. And then we have to squeeze everybody in. We have one person in line right now, as far as I know. And, okay, great. Appreciate people clarifying things with me. And so I know we've got Robin in line. Maybe just sometimes when we all share, all of a sudden we realize that there's just other stuff that we want to share. So practitioners, if there's something else that arose for you that you want to share in introduction, please go ahead and jump in and do that right now. That's great. Take a few moments to do that too. And then we'll get started with questions. And Robin's question is first. Just practitioners, if there's anything else, please. Yeah, and I request too, if you have a question for the panel, if you're going to want to ask a question, please let us know in the chat. And if there's just some comments and things like that are fine in the chat, but if you could please not be just sharing other things and marketing and things like that in the chat, that would be great. This event really is for us on the panel, and we give this away for free. So thank you so much for honoring that. Yeah, practitioners, is there anything else that you'd like to, anyone else want to, yeah, Satora, go ahead.
Just really briefly, I want to add to what you said, that you don't need special abilities to connect with nature elementals, fairies. They are everywhere, and you can just try talking to them. You will get a connection, even if maybe in the beginning you don't notice much. Over time, you will notice, and you will get proof in your life for things happening. Anyways, yeah, you don't need to be special is what I'm saying.
Oh, I appreciate that. That's great. I mean, so just walking by the creek in Boulder, I know I could feel little pockets where the energy just feels magical. Or when I'm wandering in the trees, I feel just little sections. So I particularly notice that, and I think any of us can notice that.
Lorelei, those stones that you showed us are literally called calcite fairy stones. So just gonna laugh at you some more. Laugh with you.
And we did an intro video before you all joined, and I just totally don't think of myself as working with them at all. I don't know enough explicitly, like, to know how I would know that I'm working with them. And Galactic actually pointed out that I studied plants, I studied flowers in particular, and I cook and all kinds of things. So there are all these different entry points and ways that, right, I flow in here and don't even realize. And I'm so excited about this panel in particular. So yeah, more reasons. Great. All right, well, just practitioners, I just want to leave the window open for you of anything else, and then we'll just jump into our first question too, if that's what's wanted. So before we start answering questions, I want everyone to know that while this isn't online at the moment, we are recording and we will put this online. So if you have a question that you want to ask privately, that's why we're all here for private sessions. I've been posting our information in the chat. It's also available on the Facebook event. And I'll post our information in the chat again too. It lists all the practitioner specials and all the contact info for them. And when you ask a question, let more people in. When you ask a question, in answering it, we may go deeper than you intend us to go in this forum. We may start talking about other aspects of your life that for us are related, but it's not what you want us talking about here. Please let us know. We so want to honor you. Raise up your hands, unmute, and let us know. Share in the chat. Please stop, pause, wait. Yeah, we're here for you. And then also, if you could please be honoring of others when we're answering their question. We believe everyone's intuitive and information may come in through you. We request that you maybe write it down so that you remember. And then if you want, when they're done, when we finished answering their question, if you want, you can chat them privately and ask if they'd like to know what came through for you. And please honor whatever it is they share. They may be full after hearing from all of us, and just trust that it came through you for some other reason. And also, I invite all of you, even if you don't ask a question, clearly we won't be able to answer questions from everyone. I encourage you to be here listening, open to discover what's here for you tonight. It might be in the questions that are asked, in the answers that we give, just being in community with everyone, just tapping into the energy of what we're doing tonight. So all that's available for everyone that's here. All right, well, let's see, I think we're ready to jump into questions. I'll put in the chat again. If you want to ask a question, let us know in the chat, and or just go ahead and pay. It's $15 and you can pay on PayPal. You can also reach out to me. I should just put my number in here by my cell phone. Just chat with me and I will get that number right. And I can do Square on my phone. You can pay with Eventbrite. Yeah, and the Eventbrite and the Facebook link, all those kinds of things are great. All right, well, let's see. I think we've got Robin and Wine is the only one I know of at the moment. We double check. And yeah. And I think that's what we've got right now. All right, so Robin, do you want to jump in and ask your question?
Sure. I don't necessarily have a specific question. I'm new and I don't really know much about anything. I just feel like I needed to be here, and I welcome anything really. My question is always if my mom is with me, because I lost her 3 years ago, and I lost a lot of my family, and I miss them, and just wanted to see if anybody was aware of them being around me and who my protectors are or guides or any. I'm just learning about all of this and I don't really know where to go.
Yeah, that's great. I should say a specific question is great. We love specific questions, so totally lovely. And it's fine for anyone to ask whatever they want. So Robin, yeah, that's great. Thank you. And it looks like Wyatt is in line already with something to share. So go ahead, Wyatt.
Yeah. So Robin, one thing that really came through for me real quick is they're always with you. Your ancestors, your loved ones, they're always with you. They're there on the wind when it blows on your face. They're giving you little kisses. They're going forward. They're always there with you. Within shamanism and any spiritual realm, really, the spirits are always there. They're just behind a little bit of a veil, and they're always with you, whispering little secrets into your ears, guiding you, helping you. especially ancestors connected through blood. So that's one thing. And then another thing came up too. I was compelled to draw a wind for you. So a wind, when I work with the wind, I have a little wind bag full of little cards in which different wind goddesses around the world are in here. And gods, excuse me. The one that came up is the Dagoda god, who is Polish, of compassion. And it says, like, the little message is finding freedom and forgiveness. So if it is okay, I will continue, but maybe forgive a little bit that is within you, that is maybe you're holding back, that you don't exactly feel like you should forgive or be forgiven. You are always forgiven. You're always loved.
Okay.
Yeah, sweet, Wyatt.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right, practitioners, who else would like to? I'm sorry, Cindy, I think you're muted. Go ahead and unmute.
One thing that the fairies would love you to get a hold of, if you can, is red clover. You know, Queen Bee is like, tell her about red clover, please, please, red clover. And you have a grandmother that's always with you. And the way you know that she's with you is that she likes to sing to you. So, yeah, whenever you hear that. Yeah. And she's actually standing right behind you right now. And she's, you know, just rubbing your shoulders, and, you know, she just wants you to relax more and, you know, just kind of let go. And then the other thing that I was reminded about was rescue remedy. It's a Bach flower remedy. And if you don't know about that, you can look at that online, and that will also really, really help to kind of take the edge off things.
Okay.
And know that you're deeply loved and appreciated. Always. Let that hair down, go outside, step on the grass, lie down on the grass, just breathe, you know, and ground. Just stay grounded. Ask for more help, and know that the moment you ask, everyone will come to your aid. They're just waiting to be asked. You know that.
Thank you.
Sending you love.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Oh, all right, the River Witch Fairy has something to share. Go ahead.
Hi, darling. So
Hello.
the second you started speaking, I caught that you had lost somebody who was on the other side. I don't consider myself a medium. Like I said, I do connect directly with fairy. But, you know, that ability does come through, and the Fae are very, very close in relation to our loved spirits on the other side. I immediately got an intuitive feeling that somebody, one of your loved ones who's on the other side, has transcended to the elemental realm, to the fairy realm. And I really thoroughly believe in my heart that that's why you were guided to come to this panel tonight. You know, like you were saying, you didn't know why, you felt like you just had to be here. I immediately got the insight that there's a particular fairy being that is in your space who is actually a loved one on the other side. And, you know, I feel that you are in a period of intense loneliness, okay? And I understand that, and I see that, okay, just by looking into your eyes. And that loneliness comes from a deep place of feeling physically disconnected, okay? Because we no longer physically have, you know, the people we love in front of us. We no longer can actually hear their physical voice and give them a physical hug, or just have their physical energy in our space. And I feel like you're a very physical person. So I don't know if you have been, like, I feel like gardening is something, and connecting with like the plants outside is something really great for you. I almost feel like it's something you have a talent for doing, but it's almost like you've physically disconnected from things that bring you joy, because
Mhm.
you've lost so much with, you know, the people you love.
Mhm.
So you are and even though this is dark and it's a period of loneliness, what I have to tell you is that you are actually in a period where you're at a crossroads of great magic to begin. Okay, great potential. This is when fairy wants to, you know, connect with you the most. And it's almost like I can see the doorway with this golden light beaming out of it, being open to you, to the realm of fairy. And your challenge, your mission moving through this loneliness is learning how to connect with spirit and form a relationship with fairy to fill that loneliness, but understanding and overcoming the fact that you won't be getting a relationship that's physical. This will be a purely spiritual relationship that comes in to connect with you and fulfill you and make you feel like you're not alone again. So you're in this amazing opportunity to learn how to no longer feel alone, but that's going to be with spirit, with fairy, instead of all of, you know, your family around you, because they're not here anymore. So you're moving into the spirit connection phase. Does that make sense? I hope it does.
It does. I just don't know how to get there. I don't know how to learn it.
And do you have plants around your house? Do you connect with flowers?
I do.
Okay, Cindy mentioned flower essences too. I thought that was really cool. She mentioned the Bach flower essences, and I just want to give her props for that, because you really should look that up. Flower essences are a direct physical and spiritual way for you to get that fairy essence into your body, okay, and into your auric field, physically and spiritually. Connect with the spirits of those flowers. So I do want you to do what she said and look up the flower essences, but I want you to start bringing more flowers into the house too. Even during the winter, you can go and buy fresh flowers, bring them into your house, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. Looks like Jamie's got something to share. Go ahead, Jamie.
Hi, Robin.
Hi.
I keep seeing reflections. Like, I feel like you're when you're looking in the mirror, you're doing double takes, almost like you're seeing her, but you're not trusting that you're seeing what you're seeing. The
Okay.
message is trust.
Okay.
So if you think you've seen it, then you absolutely have.
Okay.
If you think you've heard it, then you absolutely have. It's just about, you know, everyone talks about, I think I saw this out of the corner of my eye, or I think I saw this reflected in the mirror, I think I heard this, but we're very quick to discount those things, because society teaches us that, quite frankly.
Right.
And so it's that trusting and staying in that moment.
Okay.
Instead of moving past it. Staying in that moment is where you're going to find that access, where things are going to start to feel open and more connected. So when that happens, even if it's like when your pup is snuggling you, you know, you just, because I love my animals too, and you just kind of get in that bliss state.
Yes.
And you just feel a little more open. That's one of the perfect times to listen.
Okay.
Absolutely. And much love to you.
Thank you.
All right, let's see who else. Oh,
I
okay,
know
Satora, yeah, go ahead.
Laura has something, and then I'll go after her just because we can't raise our hands.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You're a co-host, so you can't do that. Thank you. All right, cool. Jump in, Satora.
So, Robin, what I got too was they're around you all the time, and at the same time, it's time to let go, in the sense of knowing that they are here and the connection is inseparable, and they are in your heart. You can connect with them in your heart, and also to open up to who is around you and who can you connect now with, even physical people, beings, and as the River Witch Fairy and Jamie said, plants and animals. Who can you connect with now? Also, in addition to your family being around you, that you bring your attention more to what is available, which connections are available, and just go looking for those.
Okay.
Because the other one is there, and they're in your heart always, and they always love you, and you're always loved. And the angels are around you also too. So if you want to connect with them, you can always ask for them. What I do a lot with my guides, they give me so much love. And you can ask for love. You can pray to be loved, that because beings of divine love are around all the time, and they are really here to help. That's what they want to, but we need to ask, because we have free will. We're divine beings, and they can't just jump in and help us and give us stuff. We have to ask. And the other thing I wanted to share with you, if you are interested, one of the things I'm doing is Chinchin Terra, which is an ancient healing technique that works with acupressure. It balances the meridians in the body, and it works on all levels. And it's just simply holding points on your body. And there is a point that's for self-love, and it's right here under the armpit, on the outside of the armpit, right here. And you can do it on both sides and basically give yourself a hug.
Okay.
So that's a good one for it, and that will also activate self-love. I mean, actually, in your neurologically, chemically, in your body, energetically. And then there is another one that helps with grief and feeling sad. That is in the groin line, which is hard to show, but you know, between the pubic bone and the hip bone, just the groin line, anywhere there, you can hold on both sides, which is very comfortable to do when you're laying down in bed, or even when you sit, whenever you have your hands free. And you feel comfortable doing this. I mean, it's weird to do it in public, but you know. So
Yes.
And you can't overdo it. There's you can't do any damage to yourself by holding these points. So you can do it as long as you wish, as often as you wish, if you do wish. So
Thank you.
Are two simple things you can help your
It's
body.
interesting because that's how I sleep, with holding myself with my hands under my arms is how I sleep.
So you know already. See, you got the wisdom in you. Isn't that wonderful?
I didn't know that was why, but that's how I sleep. It's weird that you said
That's
that.
great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
See, listen to yourself. Awesome. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
Cool. Satora, thank you. I always love when she demonstrates stuff so we can push all of the things. So you originally had asked about your mother, and so one of the first things that came through was that I feel like there's like a little bit of a push and pull, and the first thing that came through is that she is wanting to help you use your voice and to activate your throat energy, but it feels paradoxical because I don't have the feeling that she necessarily did that while she was living. So it feels like in spirit, she's actually with you in order to help you do more, to help you get to a different level that she couldn't do while she was living for whatever reasons, just being human. And so she's also on a journey on the other side. I mean, because oftentimes when we have people that transition over, they still stay with us because they're still learning, and they can just learn at a much faster rate. So basically, she'll be going to any classes with you that you go to. And if you're interested in mediumship, that you can use her and other family members to focus and hold the intent to specifically connect to them, and then you don't have to worry about connecting to other things, especially if your energy is in feeling lower. And then the other thing is you're not alone in feeling sadness or depression. So I just want to remind you that as we go through, and everybody here, that as we go through these ascension type shifts in these timelines, especially where COVID and fires and all of these things, like, don't we think it's interesting or quite convenient that everything that's coming up is actually keeping us at home and separated, so that we are, it's, while it's an opportunity to face things within ourselves, at the same time we are humans, and what is innate with us is to have physical connection with people. So what I'm getting for you is to do these online fairs and to go to as much free things as you can, because as somebody on my news feed, there's some island convention that we've always wanted to go to but couldn't go to because it's costs money or it's in another country and then we can't go to, but more things are becoming available. So allow your interest to guide you. And while it might not be physical connection, you can still work with the flowers and the plants and pet your dog and have physical contact, but then to go and make connection across time and space. So it's helpful to remember there's really no such thing as time and space in the way that we think or feel it, and that you can still connect with people very in depth and intimately in forums like this, even though we're not in the same space. And so my point is that your depression that you are feeling, or the sadness, I'm not trying to label it depression, but the feelings that you've been having are also being exacerbated by what's going on outside of you. And that's not your fault. I mean, that is what's happening in the human collective. It's like there are statistics that show that people have been experiencing much more like sadness and disconnection, right? So the last thing is to remember that you're actually making contact and connection with the spirit world, but because when they come in, you've been crying and having a lot of emotion, remember that when they come in, they're bringing a higher vibration. And so you are actually experiencing a very big heart opening, and that's okay. And a lot of times emotional stuff and crying is a part of it. So just give yourself permission to cry and know that they're helping you to like purify your, not that there's anything wrong with it. It's not detoxing, but they're just helping you to like lift up your vibration and go through a purification process. And oftentimes that involves a lot of tears. I mean, I'm sure everybody in here has experienced it, like cried for months and months and months, or you don't even know why, but it just helps to just let it flow so that you can grow, right? So just hold some space for yourself to the best of your ability. Hug your little dog who clearly is with you to help you, and just do the best that you can do, and know that is the best. Like your best self in every moment is the best, like the very best.
Thank you.
Great. All right, practitioners, if there's, just checking to see if there's anything else for Robin. All right, great. Thank you so much, Robin, for your question and for sharing, and practitioners for your answers. All right, we've got Terry and Teresa in line. Terry, do you want to jump in and share your question?
Hi, everyone. Well, I live in Fairyland. I have an Airbnb. It's called the Fairy Garden Cottage. It exists in the fairy garden. It is a constant rotation and creation of more fairy things. I would love to show you the newest one. It's a big fairy station with a fairy. It's freaking amazing. I am a fairy when I go to Ren Fair, Mistress Terry Dragon Fairy. It's everywhere. It's all over the place, and it surrounds me, and everyone says, you know, you've been a fairy, you're fairy energy, la, 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 la. And I know that, and I know they're here. I know that because of the way things grow here. Volunteers are everywhere. It's an insane place. The people that stay here report it. The energy is amazing. So all that's good. However, I've never seen them, and I've never specifically heard from them. And I do energy work too. But I've never had an encounter that made me feel like they were, let's say, as connected to me as I am to them. And so since you all seem to have direct channels, where I've been lacking, even though we live together, I would love to know if you get anything directly from them as a telegram to me, from those who share their land with me.
I'm not going yet, but I just have a question, and I always have to ask this to everybody. Have you asked them? Like, have you sat in meditation and said, I would like to have this, can you show me? And it's okay if the answer is no, because we all forget this. We just forget to ask, right? And so if you don't ask, they can't always help. And like, you can ask specifically what you want to see, and that's all. So I'm just asking if you've even asked, because that's the first thing we all tend to forget, myself included. I'm like, why can't I see them, or what's going on? It's like, well, have you asked? Oh, I forgot.
And thank you for saying that. And, you know, as we were starting this, I was thinking, wow, do I put enough effort in to actually hear them directly? But so probably not. However, I have. And we've had fairy circles. There's a fire pit out there, and I've invited them in. We've done equinox celebrations and ceremonies that were done specifically for them. I recently did mushrooms, which was like a first, and part of my intention was to communicate with them, hopefully, and to see them. I even went outside, and I'm like, okay, let's do this thing. And I did not get any direct. I was kind of disappointed, because I was like, I didn't feel that direct, and I was so specific and intentional about it. If it was going to happen, it would have happened a few weeks ago in that way. So, and like, I know that I do feel their love and their care of the grounds and of me specifically, but there's questions in the house right now and what I'm going to do with it. And I'd love their input.
So can I, on that vein of what Ashley said, you can also specifically ask for signs. You can actually even define how you want your signs. If you say yes or no, this would be the sign. And you can specifically ask for that. So you can actually see it in your environment, and you can actually have a proof of your communication. It doesn't need to be like hearing or seeing or something like that. It can be something very tangible, like,
Gotcha.
If a bird flies in front of me in the next 10 minutes, that means yes, or something like that.
Right.
So that could be a great starter for communication. You could just ask questions and ask for signs.
Great. And I love practitioners, how you're all getting familiar with the whole process and you're just jumping in. I've got Wyatt, and then the River Witch Fairy, and then Jamie the Shift Witch. And yeah, if anyone else, the other practitioners have something else, just jump in after them. So Wyatt.
Hi, Terry. So I don't know, one thing that really popped up is when you said you partook in mushrooms. One thing that for me is very huge. One, mushrooms are very big. Like, you usually find mushrooms with fairy things or whatnot. They're very cute. I love mushrooms. That being said, it's a plant medicine. And with plant medicine, yes, you put the intention out there, but the healing that comes from plant medicine is very, it goes towards the root, always the root. So even though you're like, okay, I'm ready to look and see, there might be healing of a block that is not allowing you to see, that needs to happen before. I myself went down to Peru for ayahuasca. So it's this huge thing. Plant medicine is very like, it needs to go to the root before it can go and give you what you want. So one thing that's coming up is like continue with that healing, and like, what do I need to release? What do I need to heal before I can see? And then ask for it to like open your eyes. So that's really fun. And then I had something else, but I don't quite remember. Anyway.
And it's okay. You can come back again. Share what you remember. Yeah. Great. All right. Well, we've got the River Witch Fairy next.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, I have a lot of things to say. First of all, oh, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay. And can she hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Terry. So, Terry, first thing that I need you, which I think you already know just from hearing you talk, and it was one of the first things you said. So I want to say it again out loud and repeat it to you. You, Terry, are fairy. You are fairy through and through. You have very specific vibes to me, very Icelandic, high elf, incarnation energy. Okay. I don't know if Iceland means anything to you, but if it doesn't, you should definitely look up Icelandic fairy culture. Okay. The hoodoo folk, that's what they call the fairy folk in Iceland. And so, as a fairy incarnate, looking to connect and have these, specific big experiences with fairy. Okay, speaking directly to fairy, seeing fairy. We navigate through the world doing fairy work, wanting to also speak directly with fairy. You already are. You are speaking directly with fairy. You are channeling fairy bigger than probably anybody else around you. And as you're doing this, you're channeling what they're saying. You're doing the work that you're guided to do here on this earth plane, which is bring fairy energy to the lives of those around you. Help to guide those on earth in healing work, working with plants, being closer to nature, and being aware of fairy and respectful to the earth's resources. You are doing all of those things because you're directly in communication with fairy every single day. The thing about it, and I know this because this gets me too, okay? I'm also like you, where a lot of times I'll be looking for these big experiences, or I want to see fairy. Okay, I do see fairy, and I'm very aware of that. But it took me a long time to realize that that's what was happening, because my expectation of how it was supposed to look was very different than what was actually happening. And when you are fairy, like you are, there is sort of a way about how the kin feel about you in the realm, and how they really feel like you can be more independent of them because you're already a part of the realm and you're a direct channel. And as long as you are in perfect alignment with your purpose and continuing to do the fairy work, they're, for the most part, just gonna leave you alone and let you do your thing. In times of darkness, in times when you're down, or in times when you really reach out and are very direct and very persistent, because you have to be persistent sometimes too, and say, I need a sign, or I need to connect directly with, you know, one of my specific fairy guides. And if you're persistent in asking that, then they will come through. Or in times of, you know, when you're in despair, or when you really, you know, are in dire need, they'll come through in a bigger way. But a lot of times we as incarnates don't realize that we are seeing them and we are communicating with them every single day. And so we might not, you know, we might be blind to what's in front of us because we're looking for something else. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because you are, I mean, it's like, I mean, I knew it as soon as the camera, I was like, here's a fairy incarnate. This is great, because I love to connect with other people who are fairy incarnate, because I can help them understand their journey. And that is one of the biggest things, is being like, hey, I'm looking for this experience and I'm not seeing it this way. But when you are fairy, it is a little bit different experience. So just understand and know, as you go through your path in life every single day, and you're looking for that direct communication with fairy, remember that you are fairy. Okay, you are the fairy experience that people are looking for in their life. So they're going to be a little bit more quiet with you as long as you're doing your work. And it sounds like you are. It sounds like you're getting the messages. You're in communication every day. You're carrying out your purpose the way that fairy has put you here on the plane to do. They're just going to be with you. Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, hi, I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm with Thrive Types, and I'm an eye reader, and now I'm gonna let Jamie go, and because she's in line, and I see.
You totally got busted because Laureli came back right at the end of that. That was hysterical.
I get to watch the recording.
Well played. Well played, my friends.
Hi, Terry.
Hi.
Okay, so I get the sense that you were a lot like me when after I went through the adulting phase, where I'm like, okay, I believe I saw all these things, did all these things when I was a kid, but then I had to adult. And you start having these weird notions about what it should be like when you start to reconnect again. And so, just like the River Witch Fairy was saying, you know, it's not going to be your expectation, because you're bringing a completely different lens to it than you were when you were first connecting and seeing and hearing and feeling, because usually most of us do as a child, and you do all the time because you are Fae. So, you know, just it's really about the little things is what I want to stress. So for instance, like my mom to this day, she can be like, I want to find just stand in the middle of anywhere and be like, I want to find a 4-leaf clover, look down, bam, there it is. So, you know, it's just, which, you know, doesn't seem like a big deal to many people, but that kind of is. So it may not be, oh God, I'm going to go all Star Wars here. Like, these are not the droids you're looking for. Sorry, my geek is showing. But yes. So, but yeah, you're seeing the stuff, but it may not be the thing you're looking for necessarily. So just trust in the things that you are seeing. And yeah, you're so connected. It's awesome. And your place sounds really awesome. I'm glad you're here.
You're welcome to come visit.
And I just have something super quick, if that's okay, that Lorelai's back. This is sort of similar to what the River Witch Fairy was saying. They're just going to use different words to see if it helps. In the beginning, I was working with and Andromedans were helping me with my channeling, my galactic mother, and then a few other beings. And then all of a sudden one day I was like, where did everybody go? And oh my God, I can't channel anymore. You know, it lasted all about 5 minutes. And then everybody sort of like, I'm going to say like came out and was like, look, you have already integrated our energies. And so it's like, and then it's like, they always say whenever I'm channeling, like, as I heal, you heal, as you heal, I heal, for I am you and you are me and we are one, right? So in a lot of ways with the different energies, after you've been working with them for a while, you essentially integrate, and on many levels, you can say that you've become them. So that means that rather than them appearing or feeling like they exist outside of you, they are within you and as you. So then their messages feel different. They don't feel so obvious because they're so integrated in who you are and who you are becoming, that it seems like they're not there. And then if usually like there's been a really big shift in my energy and the way things are coming in, it's sort of like the Andromedans have come back in my channeling. And so I know that they're there, or I can ask for them, right? My galactic, it's not like they're gone. So in certain situations I could, you know, she like came up again because I just went through a big, weird, crazy thing with my own mother. So she sort of like reappeared, right? But even in that, it's like an aspect of myself coming out to basically sort of help myself in these moments, right? And so once, I think, if you can accept that and then understand that a lot of the thoughts that you're having, like those are Fae thoughts in your case, like that those are the same, and that you can ask to maybe connect to other fairy realms or other levels or dimensional qualities of fairies, if you want to ask for more or to go deeper or to integrate other energies. And so those would be my suggestions. But a lot of times when we integrate energies, it feels like they're gone, but we've done the exact thing that we're supposed to do, which is to integrate these multidimensional aspects of ourselves. And so when we're on this path of I'm a multidimensional being and this is what we're saying, and then, oh no, my guides are gone. And it's like, well, you've done exactly what you're supposed to do, and you're being your multidimensional self in this realm. And so you can just ask for more aspects and layers of yourself to come in and down and to be and live as those. So that's all.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. I don't know exactly where we are. Does practitioners, anything else to share with Terry?
I have something to add.
Yeah.
Okay, so Terry, first of all, congratulations for the way in which you share fairy with the world. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And around you are rings and rings of fairies. Okay. And one of the things that you might want to ask them to do is to help you clear your chakras, okay, on a regular basis, because that will clear out. You have this, like a past life as a witch, okay, and which you took vows that you would never, ever talk about this stuff, okay. I think you've completely cleared that, but if you haven't, you can ask them to help you, you know, go beyond that. And Galactic Ashley is totally right in what she's kind of revealed to you. There's so many higher layers of fairy to call in and continue to do that beautiful sharing that you're doing. I mean, everywhere you go is fairy magic all around you, okay? You are the essence of it, okay? And the next move that you make, it's gonna be even bigger, you know, and I want you to send that energy around the globe, okay? Open that heart that you are and just let it go. Bring the sparkle from all the different dimensions of fairy that you know. Bring it now, we need it. You're doing all the right things. So stop beating yourself up for not seeing the old way fairy was represented, okay? And the other thing is, the Fairy Queen says for you to pick a flower and sleep with it at night and ask the David to come into your dream space and teach you what the flower's about.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank
So
you.
you're welcome.
Lovely.
Thank you, Cindy. All right. Anyone else? Anything to share? And I would say in some ways, Terry writes, so just like I clearly connect with them, I haven't been open to let myself know and see all the ways. So it's really up to me of whether I'm willing. That's great. It sounds like you've opened a ton from being here.
Yes.
All kinds of ideas. It's great.
Thank you all so much. If you're in Novato, California, please come to the Fairy Garden Cottage and come say hi to them yourself.
I was wondering where you are. That's great. That's great. Oh, all right. We've got someone else that's in line too. I will, all right, great. Well, so I know Teresa's next, and then we have Cloud that's going to be next after that, I think. And I want to bring in something that I'm just so distracted by it. I just found out when I went outside to get that package. And I just want to bring it here in the space because it's so big, and I think I'd want to know. Ruth Bader Ginsburg died today. Yeah, I see some other people raised a big response, and yeah. So I'm not really the best person to speak to something like that, but I just wanted us that care, those of us that care, just to be here together and know that, yeah. So if one of you practitioners, if there's something that you want to say, go ahead.
If you want, we can just do, I think Wyatt has a wind thing, and I can play some crystal bowls and do a little light language thing for a few minutes.
I would love that, yeah.
Okay.
Would you like me to draw a wind? See which one she's floating on?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Ashley, you'd like this. She's floating on the west wind.
Okay.
All right. So real quick, for all of those that would like to participate, when I blow the wind whistle, I want you to take in the deepest breath that you've ever taken. This is to really bring in that wind energy, that elemental of air. And then the western wind I'm going to be blowing into is of the harvest, the physical body, endings, except we're in a cycle. So an ending is yet but another beginning. So it's something to remember. So just before everyone starts going, breathe everything out. Breathe it down, release all the air into the very bowels of your lungs. Release that old stagnant air. And then blow in, breathe in when I blow the whistle. Hold that for a sec. And release. And I'm going to do this one more time. And release.
May we see that our heart field is expanding out to Ruth Bader Ginsburg's family. And we are grateful for the service that she has provided all of us as being a member of the Supreme Court, and for all of the work that she has done, especially for holding a role so that women can see that they too can be involved in the government in that way, and for all of the laws that she has been a part of. And we understand that we are going through a great transitional period in this space, and we honor her soul for her work that she has done, embodied. And we are grateful for those who will be able to, while she cannot be replaced, who will be able to stand in her place. And may we send good, positive healing to her family and to all of those friends and family that knew her. And just ride the winds. And may we find acceptance in this and keep moving forward, doing the work within ourselves to find healing and to transmute that which is within us, to find our own sacred empowerment as we move forward in our own lives and keep connecting to each other on a massive scale during these times of change, remembering that we are heart beings having a human experience, and that we are more resilient and powerful than we give ourselves credit for. And keep expanding your heart space. Alanashun Yalahana Shumanai, Alaman Yalahon Nashun Yalakanai Shuman Yalahanai Shuman Yalahanai Alawama Shun Yalahanai, Hinalana Yala Yalana Kun Yalai, Hinalala Yalakana Shuman Yalai, Amman Yalai, Amman Yaluan and Yalakandai. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we love you, we love you, we love you.
I would like to add one thing. As a psychic medium, I have a message from Ruth. And she says to humanity, be strong. Fight for what you believe in and who you believe in, and never lose faith in yourself. I'm in a better place now. Thank you for your prayers, and please send prayers to my family. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy and Galactic Ashley and Wyatt.
I got a little message too, that she's passing on the torch to all of us. She has done her work and it's no longer needed. She's no longer needed here, and she's passing on the torch to each one of us, that we do our own work in that. It's just another way of saying our empowerment.
Yeah, thank you, Satora. Thank you so much, Ruth. Oh, thanks everyone for taking a little bit of time to be with that and to be with Ruth and to be with all of us being with this. Oh, all right. I know someone else just joined us too. This is our MeWe Awakening panel, and our focus tonight is the Fae and the Elementals. Oh, we've answered 2 questions, and we've got I think 2. We've answered 2 and we have 2 more coming. We have Teresa next. Teresa, would you like to share your question yourself? Go ahead and unmute and
Okay, sure. Well, maybe I'll remove these. That way you guys that are eye readers might be able to see me a little bit better. I can't see at all without my glasses on. I'm a little sight impaired when it comes to that.
it's great. You can put them back on. It's cool. I can see you through your glasses.
Okay. Okay, just to give you a little background, I'm brand new at all this stuff. I am one of 5 sisters that is all waking up right around the same time. Each of us has been given some type of a different gift that we're just kind of expanding on, practicing together, talking openly. I started using the Fay Oracle cards because some of the other things that I had tried out, they didn't work for me. They didn't talk to me. The pendulums didn't work and a lot of other things didn't work. I feel very strongly that just like Wyatt, I have a prankster around me. I have one that took my fluorite, no joke, for 3 weeks. And when it was returned, they then took my moldavite, which stayed gone for the same number of weeks. And when the moldavite was returned in a place that I have vacuumed no less than 10 times, at the same time I dropped a mirror that never hit the floor and broke, but I have never found. So I don't know what the significance is of the mirror or if I'll ever find it. But I strongly sense a prankster because at different times, I have so much energy that it feels like my hair stands up and that somebody is lifting it and tickling me with it. Now, I've always been a believer in spirits and Fae. The Fae was the one place that we could really escape and be ourselves and be little girls in a world that wasn't very friendly for little girls at a time. So, you know, with the 5 of us always being together all the time, we came up with all kinds of different scenarios and things that we saw and different places that we could go in our minds and practice and spent a lot of time outside. So I really am deeply connected to the forest and the greenery, not drawn to the ocean as some of the others in my group are. So I was just wondering, I'm kind of walking through stuff and, you know, some of my sisters have discovered different spirit guides that speak to them. And the one that I have is my oracle. I don't have any other connection with anything in particular. So I was just wondering if somebody sees something or something I need to work on to open that connection.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, jump in.
Hi, Teresa.
Hi.
Hi, it's so great to have you. You are very earthly energy, very earthly. And you know what's funny? Your background, your virtual background might suggest that you're fire, which I think you're a little bit of fire too, but you are very forest green, earthly, grounded energy. And that is also why you have attracted a house brownie. You have a house brownie. And that is the spirit that is playing all these funny jokes on you. But there's a lot of energetic significance in what the house brownie is doing with these objects too. And you might have noticed this. You know, when a lot of times fairies will take our keys or our stones and you know, our crystals and then return them. But your house brownie is returning them infused with potent energy that you need to help sustain you in your everyday life for getting things done, and also helping you with creative ideas. And right now your house brownie is doing this by taking these items and then infusing it with potent, powerful energy to you, because you have not called specifically out to him on what you would like help with. So this is what your house brownie is doing now. It's his way of helping you because you have not directly called out to him with a specific task. The great thing about house brownies is that they are one of the absolute, I mean, there's a few, but house brownies are one of the most dire to catering to what you need in your physical life, around your home, around your space. That is their specific purpose, but they can't do that until you call out to them directly. So he is doing it by the only way he knows how to. And the mirror I thought was very interesting, because I do feel like you're going to find that mirror. Okay. That mirror is going to be returned to you. When that mirror is returned to you, that mirror is it's going to be a very important tool. Mirrors are very potent symbolism in the fairy realm, because they act as portals to the realm. Okay. When we look through mirrors, we can see into other dimensions. We can see into energetic spaces. Mirrors are just so symbolic in the magical world, but especially to fairy. And that mirror is going to be really special when he returns it to you. It's almost going to be like, I want to say, I would be really careful about where you place the mirror when you do get it back. And it may be something that you'll want to cover in like the day-to-day life until you want to look and scry for messages, or look into the realm of fairy, or open the door, like for them to come in out of the house. Those are all different things that you'll be able to do with this mirror. So you might want to keep it covered with a piece of cloth when you're not ready to use it, or you might not want to just set it up on a shelf in a room and have it be an open doorway for fairy to come in and out. You know what I mean? And so I would suggest covering it until you're ready to call out to them and to him specifically and do that. Okay. So, again, I want you to think about what you would like him to aid you, as far as things around the house, things that you need to get done. And also, this would apply to things within the family. If there's like an issue within the family, or between the sisters, or you did say that the sisters, you guys are all diving into this work kind of together, but in your own different ways, which is beautiful. He could even help with that too, because that's considered something with the family, but they're helpers of the home and family, home and hearth.
Great, thank you. All right. Practitioners, who else wants to jump in?
I have something to add.
Oh, so let's go Wyatt
you
first,
go
and then
first.
Cindy. Oh, no? Okay, Cindy first.
Okay. For some reason, and maybe the River Witch can tune into this, there are 3 plants that the fairies that I work with want to recommend for you to discover.
Okay.
The first one is mandrake root. In other words, magic abounds everywhere. Okay, and they're wanting you to research that, sleep with it, get to know it. The second is ginseng. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And ginseng is so that you open up your wisdom to plant medicine. And the third one is basil. And that's for your personal healing. So perhaps the River Witch can also come into this conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how you just gave her some recommendations for plants. And with the mandrake root especially, mandrake root is very vibrationally aligned to the earth elementals, especially the brownie that's connected with her right now. And the mandrake root is also going to help you to open up your psychic ability, Teresa, and also like connect you directly with the earth elementals, because you're really connected with gnomes too. And like gnomes and brownies, and even trolls are really connected with mandrake root. So, you know, psychically, that'll help to open up your third eye to be able to actually see them as well. You know, you'll start connecting with like glimpses in the corner of your eye. You probably already are.
Yeah, I see things in the dark underneath stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but it's going to open up even more. So because I thought it was so cool that she mentioned the mandrake root especially. So I wanted to weigh in on that.
I'll hop in. Actually, mandrake root too is very significant within shamanism as well. Within lore too, the mandrake root takes the form of a child. The root itself, it is within lore. It says it screeches, and if you hear it, then you're about to die. Blah blah blah. I hate those omens. That being said, only those that are spiritually heightened have those abilities to hear. So you'll be with mandrake too, even though it's earth-based, there's a little bit of air too, because singing and voice is found within the air. It's vibrational. And then that leads me into, I was being led to tell you of the, what do I call it, like procession of the elements, I suppose. I hope you're taking notes. I don't want to overwhelm you with everything else.
No, I have a notepad.
Good. So spirit is the very first element within everything. And then you have air, which is the movement of spirit within space. And then you have fire, which is the ignition of spirit within space. So it's the ignition of air given heat. And then you have water, which water is the form given to fire after ignition from air. And with the form, it cools down. So it starts to become more fluid and cooler. And then you have, from that, you have solidity. So you're given earth. So from earth, you're able to move into that very dynamic ability, which you have already explored, really, from what I'm picking up. So it's kind of like something I'm picking up that they want to tell me is to move into exploring these other realms, move into backwards from the outer spiral back into spirit. So explore the fluidity of water, and then explore losing your form and exploring the ignition of fire, and then moving into the voice of air, and then into spirit itself. So it's really interesting that they had me touch on that. I've been developing that, or like channeling that, for a while. So it's really cool. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Who else wants to share?
I just have a super quickie thing to say. I just want to reiterate the portal component. It's a really, this is more of like, yay, that's amazing. But also with having a portal, especially in your house, comes a great responsibility. So I would suggest definitely keep it covered, and definitely maybe meditate and decide how you would like to use it, and what you want to use it for. That way it's very specific. So it's not just this doorway through all space and time, right? So that's really awesome. Also, I feel like, are you like able to connect with your sisters, like in your spiritual development together? Because it feels like this is not your first go around, all of you incarnated together, either as sisters or not. But collectively, I feel like things will come in quicker, because it's like you all hold this piece, and then when you're together, you might be able to remember more a lot quicker. And I think the reason for that is because it's like, for a lot of women, we carry these codes within us, but we have a lot of throat healing that needs to be done. And whether you're male or not, it doesn't matter, because we've all incarnated as other beings and female or masculine. So to look at your throats, and then collectively, I feel like there's a lot of healing that you guys can like move through very quickly, and that together you're each, it's like, let's say you're each holding a word, and then that word makes this phrase, and then everything comes together and makes sense. So there's a lot. And I guess I feel like if you were to, it's not like you can't do this on your own, but together it's like you can be way more powerful, just because more information will come in clearer, and that you have each other to support. And then there's this like women, this female circle that can expand and have a lot more gifts that are in it. So I think there's a lot of opportunity, and the fact that you've noticed that the awakening is happening among you is pretty, it's interesting, very awesome. And I don't know if you have a hard time with focus, but for me, the ginseng and the basil help with just 3D tasks. So that's all.
Yeah, we all do practice together, actually, and we're all very powerful. So we do chakra clearing together. We do, other different ceremonies together, and it's quite an experience to have that much energy in one room.
That's so awesome. So awesome. I mean, and that's also unique too, right? Because there's so many people that cannot tell their family what they're doing, and they have to keep everything a secret. So the fact that you can do that together and celebrate it with each other is just huge. And I feel like there's other women at some point that female energies, right? It can also be men eventually, to come into your circle, so that you can bring them into like this new family that you're creating. Because so many people don't have family, either because they lost them, or because they actually, because of soul contracts and because of just having to honor ourselves, they have to actually turn away from their family. And so you can really provide a big support system for people coming up here. I could see it happening in halfway through 2021. So, maybe come up with a name for your guys' self.
Yeah, we haven't got that far yet. It's a lot to grasp onto when you just look at a divine purpose for one and realize that all 5 of you are bouncing it all over the place and people are attracted to it. So we also have to be careful about what attracts to us, to make sure that it's not something that wants to come in and drive us apart.
On that too, intention leads what comes into your life.
Yeah.
You had mentioned your eyes earlier. It sounded like you wanted something about your eyes. And I know, Jamie, you had your hand up for a moment too. But so part of what I get in your eyes is that you're actually fairly grounded, and community and playfulness and communication is all really important to you. So it just seems so important that you are a group of 5. And it seems like, I agree, your energy is that much more powerful with all of you together. And I get that there's something about being selective of how you share. I just wonder that the 5 of you are going to be a powerful force in bringing more people together, something about communities together. Really interesting to me that there are so many of you. Yeah. And that's just true for you too, and all of your individual expression as well. It just seems like you're very grounded, and communication and helping people connect and flow together is part of what your gift is about. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I am the glue that brings the others in if somebody's afraid. So
yeah, you help it just feel easy. Like there's the slip and slide to let people find the opening and find their way through. Like
yeah,
people getting themselves stuck. Yeah. Great. So let's see, Jamie, did you have something you wanted to share?
I was gonna, actually, Teresa sort of answered it before I asked it. I was gonna ask if and what she did with her sisters, and she answered that. And I of course right away thought about the pentagram. You have all the 5 points, these 5 beautiful, bright, shining women on each point of the star. So yeah, that's the thing I do want to say is, like, don't think you can't heal others while you're healing. That's a really big thing. Or you can't do things for others while you're learning, because that's absolutely the case. All of us are continually learning. All of us are continually healing. So don't let that stop any of the 5 of you moving forward.
Yes. Yes, that's great. Yes. All right. Any other practitioners, anything else to share? All right, great. Thank you, Teresa, for a lovely question and your lovely presence in all of our answers. Yeah, it's great.
Great, thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, I know we've got at least one more question right now. I'll go check and see if anyone else. So Cloud, where are you? Oh, great. Yeah, so did you want to unmute and share and ask your question? We can't hear you yet. Let's see, where are you? Okay, let's see. Okay, great, yeah, go ahead.
Hi, thank you everyone for being here.
It's really hard to hear you. Is there anything you can do maybe to get closer to your device or?
Yes, I can also speak up. Is that better?
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Oh, yeah, it's lovely to feel your energy. All right, perfect.
It's the tie-dye.
It's not your tie-dye. Of course, that's lovely also. Go ahead.
So, my question is actually around a move that I am supposed to make this weekend. My intention has been to find basically a living situation where I can be noisy, I can sing, I can dance, and I don't have to be so mindful or constricted energetically. And so a studio opened up.
We suddenly lost your sound, your internet. Sorry, we can't hear you. You might not be able to hear us either. Whoops, Cloud. Cloud, we lost you.
Wind book right now.
Cloud. Cloud, are you there? Sorry, we lost your audio for a little bit, so
I'll be succinct. I'm looking for just feedback on whether or not this move is going to be what I'm looking for, if it's going to give me the space that I need to take more space up in my life and living situation.
Great, great. Okay, and then yeah, Galactic actually mentioned too, if you have any trouble hearing us, turn off your video and you'll get the audio better. And yeah, I guess I'm just feeling your energy. There are all kinds of things that are here from me. I know other people will have things too. You said it was a studio that opened up, so it's a
yes,
meaning like a studio space where there are other kind of like what type of like an individual space by a studio, or do you mean the space where? Okay.
So I would get to live by myself. My concern is that it's a studio apartment adjacent to other apartments that I won't be able to sing, make noise. That sort of has been the consistent theme where I have had to be mindful and living like a guest everywhere I've been living for a very long time. And so I'm wondering, is it going to be better to go and try this situation, or should I stay where I am and wait?
And you're what city are you in?
I'm actually in Eugene, Oregon.
Okay, great, great, great. All right, sweet. Okay, yeah, so if you have any trouble hearing us, turn off your video. That'll be an easier way to hear us. And I bet practitioners have a bunch of things to share, and we might have a few more questions. All right.
I just have one super quick thing. This is something that I always do before I go move into a place for multiple reasons. I will go there at 11:30 or 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. One, because I want to know what the environment is like at night. And two, if I feel safe there. And then if you hear other people maybe that are awake or being kind of noisy, then you know that it won't be sort of like you're a guest there. And then you'll also know if you need to be concerned about safety as well. So that's just very 3D advice, but it's something that I always do before I move anywhere.
Yeah, so get a sense of other people make noise, and really it's whatever your hours are. If you're up early, go early, and if you're up really late, go late. Yeah, Galactic Ashley is late. All right, great. All right, practitioners. Is anyone particularly motivated to jump in? I'm like,
So I drew a wind for you. I felt really led to draw a wind, Carol. So the wind I drew is Le'emamoa, who is the Hawaiian wind of, I just dropped the card, ancestors. And she, or he, spirits are multigender, is bringing the information of build a strong foundation, which maybe for me, I'm not really getting, but I'm still going to bring in the message. And I want you real quick to choose a cardinal direction, north, south, east, or west.
North came to mind first.
North? Interesting. I was thinking east. That might change things. So I'm just going to read straight from the book because there's like, I don't know how many winds are in that bag, 67 or something. As the wind enters your life from the northern side of the gourd, you are being asked to focus your attention on the sacred words that you speak. In Hawaii, there are kupas, which are strict rules for proper behavior. Strict mo'olelo are only told during the daylight hours and passing before the speaker is insulting to the gods. Tend to your altar. These sacred spots are vortices of energy offering a place of rest and comfort for the north wind. Positive creative energy arises from well-intended prayers, chants, and mantras. The naming of people, places, and things will provide a sanctified order in your life. A proper Hawaiian introduction includes reciting the family's ancestry back to the original island inhabitant. Native Hawaiians understand their role, functions, and position in society by the pronouns attached to their names. Choose your words carefully before opening your mouth. Sharing information may be important, but sharing wisdom will provide inspiration for ages to come. The north wind is very bitter. It comes from the very cold, like Norway and, very north. That cold wind is very spiritual, actually, is really steeped within this spiritual aspect that even though it is cold, we are moving forward. It is bringing us these inspirations. Like when you're cold, you really want to go fast. You don't really want to stop. So things may come quickly. And then it's always in opposition to the southern wind, the very warm wind. And there could be storms that come and brew. The one thing that I'm really, really getting is to assess the foundation of where you're going to go, whether it's this place or the next. At first, I was getting weight because you might find something better, that you can be loud, that you can drum, that you can dance and stomp on the ground and go out into the forest if you wish. That was one of the first things. And then, as Leigh Malmoa said, really build that foundation. And then being very aware of the timing. Kind of like what Galactic Ashley was bringing in, being aware of the timing of things and how that flows.
great, thank you. All right, who else wants to share? Oh, the shift witch, Jamie is in line. Go ahead, Jamie.
Cloud, I love tie-dye, so I'm on board for that, first of all. And I feel like, first of all, I feel like you should probably wait. But I also feel the urge that is pushing you. It's almost like something is literally like under you, like lifting you up and like moving you, which is why you are feeling this urge to take action. And there is some kind of action there, but it's not moving just yet, like you physically. I think the move now would just be satisfying that action versus your true purpose, your true wish for where you want to live. And also being in Oregon right now, there is a lot of like very twitchy energy from the fires and from being up inside from the smoke, and you're down in the thick of it in Eugene still. So yeah, the urge to want to run and get away is very strong right now. So I'm sure that's a lot of what's going on. So yeah, just it's going to come. It'll come up, the place that you should be. But yeah, don't settle because you feel this push, basically. I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you.
All right, great. Satora, go ahead.
Hi, Cloud. I can so relate to the situation you're in because I've been in that for 5 years and I just moved into my own place. It's been a long journey, and I want to share what my guides, how they prepared me for that is it's important for you, or I'll speak for myself and you see if that resonates for you. For me, they told me I was focused on my sanctuary home. I still am. It's an evolving thing. And for me, that's a place where I can be in my own energy field and I can dance and, you know, do whatever I want. I can get up now, make my breakfast and listen to music. And it starts with declaring that I am in my sanctuary home. And that starts with energetic integrity is how I call it, that I am in my own energy field, first of all. So energetically holding my own space, holding my space and not letting others intrude. And that is something I can do anywhere. Of course, there's places where it's harder and places where it's easier. And then for yourself, create this picture. Just declare for yourself that you are in your sanctuary home. And how do you want it to be? I mean, is a studio with other apartments around, is that really what you want? Or do you want something that's a little more of its own space? So you can create that. And once you clear, at least in the essence of what it is you want, then it can come to you more clearly. And then on the other hand, it is important not to be hung up too much on the details, but more of the essence of what it is. Like, you know, wanting your own space. And I do want some my dream is to live in my own little space, but have people close by. Like there is a house like 100 feet away. So that's my ideal. And I still have my own place. So that is something that has happened now. So once you really clear what is really important in your own space, then it will be easier for you, for this to come to you and for you to recognize which, if that is it. And yeah, it's tempting to move out of a sense of urgency, and yeah, and it's not always helpful. It can get you from the pot into the frying pan, basically. Yeah, and just affirm for yourself that you deserve, that you are worthy of your own place, and it's here for you. It's available to you, and it will show up in due timing. And just something that you can affirm for yourself every day. And then another thing I've done was when I walked, and sometimes one time there was a really magical moment on the beach where there was fog and the sun came up and it created an arc. It wasn't a rainbow, it was a fog bow. It was really amazing. And I just kept walking towards that. So you could just take a point and just keep walking towards that, and just with the intention, I am walking to my sanctuary home, or whatever that is, your own home now, however you call it. I'm walking towards it. I'm walking into that right now. I'm walking away from the old situation and I walk into it right now. And then over time, it will also manifest in the physical. And these are things that you can energetically do right now to help it manifest. And you can come up with other things. You can sing about it. Any which way you can affirm it and make it more of a reality for yourself. And yes, you deserve your own place where you can freely express yourself.
Oh, that's great, Satora. Thank you. All right. I guess so just practitioners, we've got 2 more questions after Cloud's questions. So let's just zip around so that we can all get in here. All right. Cindy, I know you've got something. Go ahead.
Hi. So this is kind of maybe going to sound like it's in left field, but I tuned into you and your essence. And what I got was, number 1, carry OSHA root. And I don't know if you know about OSHA root, but what will happen is it'll help to level the playing field when you're dealing with other people. Okay. You can chew it or you can burn it. Okay. And the other thing that came up for you is Denver, Colorado. And as opposed to where you're living now, and that's going to resonate for you at a much higher vibe. And so I just wanted to share that with you.
All right, great. And yet, practitioners, anything else you want to share?
Hi, Cloud. I'm just going to jump in real quick. I know we've got other questions, but I had something small to add, and it's interesting because it's expanding on some of the things that Wyatt and Satora had to say. I love the things that they brought through because it was right on par with what I was feeling. I do feel that there's stagnant energy now where you are, and how I feel that is I get a sense that you've outgrown the place that you are. So I do understand that urge to move. And so then it was interesting because Wyatt brought through the north wind for you, and he explained that, you know, that cold air entices us to swiftly move. So, you know, it symbolizes action and movement, you know, which is kind of like a green light. Now, whether you choose to move to this place or not, I don't feel like it's going to be like your end all be all place. I do feel like there's something else coming for you, something available to you that is going to be your own place. And you can actually be in alignment to manifest this place that is perfect for you. I do feel like it's like a small house or a cottage that you can rent or maybe purchase just for yourself. I also get the sense that there's there might be a lack of confidence that you will be able to attain that. And so I just want you to know that you can totally manifest anything that your little heart desires, and especially this place that you dream of where you will be allowed to be loud whenever you want, sing, dance, drum, chant, whatever. You totally can manifest this. And I think sometimes we forget that we can cultivate and attract the things that we want and need the most, because in our headspace we get so into the 3D aspects of the whole situation, where we're just looking for something and looking and looking and looking, and then we get so stressed out about it that we start to believe that we won't be able to find what we're looking for. We won't be able to attain what we're looking for as perfect as we envision it. Okay, it's like, oh, that wouldn't be possible. How could I attain the absolute perfect thing for me? You know, and that's very just like 3D behavior that we get into, because we get so into the space of the looking and the paperwork and the talking to people that we forget about how to work our energy in these situations, and how important that aspect really is. It's almost the entirety of how to cultivate the things that we want. So I really think that you should make a vision board. I'm just getting that for you. I really see you making a vision board, copying and pasting pictures of like decorative house themes, like a nice kitchen that you would feel happy and cozy in, living space, and then like the outside of the house, and you can like copy and paste on like a poster board all these different images that you just like. And I just think that you should start manifesting that. It's okay to go where you're going. Just truly believe that it's not going to be the place that's the end all be all. There is something better for you out there, okay? And you need to get outside too. So that's important as well. The fairy said that it's important for you to have access to a yard space where you can also do the dancing and the singing outside as well, okay?
Great, thank you. All right, let's see. I'm going to pin your energy just for a moment. Cloud. So for me, you have a very delicate energy. You're very sensitive. You pick up a ton from your environment. I actually really like that you're in Eugene because Eugene is a very sensitive place in many ways. And so you're surrounded by a lot of other people that are like you. So places like Portland and Eugene, really good fit. For me, I lived in Denver for 2 years, Boulder for 14 years. And it's a much harsher kind of energy of the people there. So yeah, I actually personally, I really like that you're in Eugene. The way you asked the question makes me wonder that you have an intuition that this place isn't quite right. And I trust that. So I feel like you already know your answer. You can already really feel it. And so that's what I think is there. And so it's so interesting because on the one hand, you're energetically sensitive. So you need a place that isn't too imposing on you. And then you also need a place that's available for your creative expression. And so when you said a studio at first, I was immediately picturing, and then when I was hoping that it was more like an artist studio kind of thing with like a bigger ceiling, and like it was a little bit more like the kind of old-fashioned industrial, so like wood floors and like bigger space. And so I'm just I wonder what it's almost like a barn, like you almost need to be in a barn or something. Clearly that's warm enough, but like that's the kind of space that I imagined for you. So I don't know how you've been looking, how you've been connecting with people and letting people in your life know, and people on social media know that you're looking. So I love that they got Galactic actually put in links for the art council and things like that. So definitely going through alternative pathways to find something. It just seems like the best fit for you might be some really unusual, quirky space that way, but that's big enough for you. Yeah, and like Satora's space is away from the main house, so she's nearby others, but she has a bunch of space, so it almost feels like something like that, but some alternative building that's not kind of standard. But so take care of yourself. Like you need daylight and it needs to be warm enough and all that, just because of just your constitution and who you are. And I love that you're here asking a question on the Fae and the Elementals panel, because I don't know if anyone's brought that up too, but you totally are dancing in this space also. That's really clear. Yeah. Great. All right. Anyone else? Any other practitioners want to share?
I'm not gonna like share, but I just want to iterate that I put in a whole bunch of links and stuff in there for like the racc.org and Eugene Artist Cooperative. And so I do think it's really important to connect with other artists, and they don't necessarily have to be dancers, but within the fine art world, there's a lot of performative artists that are doing things even though they're doing it through video. And I don't know if you've ever considered applying for grants, even if you feel that you don't, or residencies, even if you feel like you don't qualify, it might be worth looking at. And even though there's a ton of competition right now among artists to get money because of COVID, don't let any of that get in the way, because if you fit the bill, you fit the bill and they will take you. And then I was a part of the Signal Fire Artist Residency programs. And so there might be something for you there. And that one's out of Portland, but they'll take anybody from all over. So I don't know if you can see the chat or not, but I put a bunch of stuff in there. So just, it's sort of like what Lorelei was saying, to just like think outside of the box, because maybe you find a living place that comes with some studio space, or you find the perfect studio space and then you're okay having a whole bunch of roommates because you spend 90% of your time in your own studio. So there's a lot of ways that this could work out, but I think you're gonna find something soon, but just maybe look in a little bit different way.
All right, great. All right. And it turns out, I got to unpin you. All right. It turns out we've only got one other question too next. We've totally got time. Anyone else have anything they want to share with Cloud? Yeah, great. Great. I love Galactic Ashley's tip about going during the hours of the day, going in places, right? And feel what it's like for you and the energy for you, and also feel like it feels receptive and open, right, for what you want to create there. It's great. All right, sweet, sweet. All right, well, let's see. So we've got one more question at the moment. So Shelley, thank you so much, Cloud, by the way. Lovely question. Lovely being here with you. All right, Shelley.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So, I, like one of the other people that was asking questions, first met fairies through a fairy oracle tarot deck. When I met my ex, he didn't believe in any of, tarots or Wicca or mediums or any of that. So I kind of hid all of that away from him. And the fairies I pushed them off too. And now that I'm getting back into it, and I've been looking for this tarot deck, I've been looking for these fairies. The fairies pop in long enough to go na 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 and run off whenever I ask where the deck is. But otherwise, they're not speaking to me anymore, except for to tease me. They pop in, they tell me, yes, we caused a lot of your ex's accidents. That made me giggle because he had some really just off the wall accidents that you're just going, how? So do you guys have any tips on maybe how to, I don't know, how to get in touch with them again? Or I don't even know if that's the question because I'm in touch with them, but I'm not in touch with them. They just pop in long enough to, give me one little tidbit and run off again.
Sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off, but it feels like, even though I just did, sorry.
Practitioners, I just wanted you all to know we do now have another question in line too. Go ahead, Galactic Ashley.
So you said that your ex-husband didn't believe in any of this stuff, or your ex, whatever, but you're not together anymore? Okay.
No.
So what it feels like, the real, part of the real question of what I was getting that you were asking was, are the fairies upset at you because you ignored them during the relationship? So maybe that's why they're not there anymore. I was sort of getting like a feeling like that. And so the first thing to say is, and the first time I ever connected to beings and they were showing me like that the amount of patience that they have, it just made me like cry basically, because they are so patient with us. You have to be grateful that time doesn't really exist, right? And that they are always present, that they're not going to ditch you. They understand that this 3D earth plane is messy, that relationships are messy, and that is the first thing that they'll say, is that it's messy. Like, you are in a plane and a realm that is messy. Nothing is clear cut. You can do the best that you can do, and it's still going to be messy. So they are still there, but what's happening is they've been coming in to go neener and to tease you, is because they're wanting you to like lighten up a little bit, and they don't mean that in a mean way, but like part of path of ascension can also be called enlightenment, which kind of translates to lighten up, right? Because you're being very hard on yourself. There's probably a lot that you still need to heal within your heart space about the relationship, and to release yourself from blame, because this is very, very common for women and for people in relationships. When you take the ascension path and you're in a relationship, and people are on different planes, right? Like if he or that person isn't going to be on your journey, you basically have two choices. You can stay and not grow, or you can choose growth. And so frequently you are put in the position of growing, which means relationships sometimes they dissolve because and then to remember this too, sometimes you are needing to be the one to end the relationship, because if you don't, you have to remember that they have soul contracts also that don't have anything else to do with you. So each of you needs to go and to complete your journey here, and that relationship maybe wasn't even supposed to continue. So the more that you can forgive yourself and remember that love is forgiving, and that you can like free yourself from any kind of like internal torture or blame that you're blaming or should have, could have, would have, should have done in your past relationship, those fairies are going to be right there, and they're going to be in there, and they're going to work with you, and all the other beings and angels, and there's like an angelic flare kind of going on around you, and just like let that happen. Let yourself explore yourself, and like celebrate the fact that you don't have to hide like 90% of who you are from the person that you're in a relationship with, and you can live your authentic self now every day, and you can attract other people that are also living their authentic selves with them. But I completely understand. I went through a divorce like a year ago, and it's not fun, and it is what it is. And to release those people from your life, and to be grateful for all of the things that you did receive and learn from those relationships, and then understand that your path is different and that it's going to be okay. And it's okay. And for a lot, there are women, a lot of women that are specifically in these places where it's like you're also healing the collective about letting women stand up for their own and claim their power. And no matter how sloppy the divorce or the breakup is, like it's gonna be okay. And you have this wonderful, like clear canvas path for you to just discover who you are and to live as your authentic self. The fairies are there. Yeah.
And that was just teasing you a little bit from Galactic, Ashley. That's great. All right. Who else wants to share? And practitioners, we do have one more question, so we'll probably go a few minutes late. Satora is next. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll keep it brief. Galactic Ashley mentioned your authentic self, and as your authentic self, if it helps you, you can just talk to them and tell them all of that, and you can even apologize, maybe if it's not needed for them, but you need it for yourself to clear the relationship. You can just tell them, okay, this happened, I feel bad about it, and this happened, and just speak it out, express it, tell it to them. Yeah, maybe they're totally beyond it and they don't need it, but it helps you to clear the path and helps you to recreate your relationship in new ways as your authentic self. Okay. I'll leave it at that. So
thank you.
Yeah, that's great, Satora. All right, someone else was saying they had something? Was that Cindy?
Hi, Shelly.
Oh, River Witch.
Hi.
Yay.
I know we all just have so much to say. I knew that was going to happen tonight. I love it. So some funny fairy stuff came through that I want to tell you about. So fairies have a thing with smells, okay? And one of the things that they smell, I mean, they're very particular about the way, obviously they like things to smell good, and they're particular about people's scents and whatever, but one of the things that they smell is energies, right? Now, first of all, the fact that you know that they are popping in and out just to make their silly little faces at you and stick their tongue out and throw a pebble at you and then leave is them letting you know that they haven't abandoned you. They're still around, okay? But I really love some of the other things that people are saying, especially Satora. With fairies, they want you to work for it, okay? You have to maintain a relationship with them, and if something happens to put a wrench in the relationship, then you have to work and repair that relationship, just like with any other person in your life, okay? So one of the things that I got that's affecting this now is that, okay, you were in this relationship for a while with somebody who was bringing you down because of the things that you believed in your relationship with them, okay? And even if that person's thoughts and beliefs didn't affect yours, it still brought down the vibration that you had going with the Fae, okay? And then what happens is the people that we're, especially that we're in romantic relationships with, even after it's ended, a lot of times we can still have vibrational cords that are attached to them. And there's still a little bit of that going on. And so, you know, because your energy meshes with a person that you're really close with, or especially in an intimate relationship with. And so fairies can smell that. So I would love to see you find, like, if you could find a healer that you're really comfortable with, who can help you. Great. Yeah. Help you with like cutting some of these cords to fully.
She's helped me. She's helped me once already do a cord cutting ceremony. So
yes.
I'll see if she can help me with another.
That's amazing, because that's exactly what the fairies are talking about. They're like, we just, you know, we love her, and, you know, we're ready to build that relationship again, but we just don't, she still kind of smells like him. And so, yeah, so it's just a journey that you're on, and I totally understand it, you know, because you have things that you're ready to heal, to move forward from this relationship and get back to yourself, get back to your soul, and, you know, working and doing the things that bring you joy and that, you know, are going to give you true growth. And so, like Satora said, a big part of that is totally just opening up your heart and speaking out loud to them and talking to them and asking them to help you with these tasks too, because they can help to clear these things away too. They're just really, like, you know, finicky, just like how a lot of regular people are. And it's like, we're willing to do a lot, but you have to kind of ask us first, and then we'll come in and do it. We'll be like, okay, that's fine. We'll get rid of the smellies, you know. But they're really funny like that, and you totally know it. And I love that they're showing you that. So yeah, it really is just about healing.
I actually found, I was going through my closet because I thought maybe the cards might be in there, and I found some of his stuff that I need to drop off at Goodwill.
Yeah, they're like, it just stinks. Yeah. They're like, it's so smelly. It smells like him. And they just couldn't stop talking to me about the smell, which I totally understand, because I think people smell all the time who nobody else thinks smells. And I literally will think that I'm going crazy. And I'll ask people, does that person smell to you? And they're like, I don't smell anything. I'm like, they stink so bad. So fairies really are like that, with energy and residual and cords that are still attached.
It sounds like you really being willing to fully turn in their direction. That's what they're waiting for.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm ready to have them back. I want them back. I miss them.
Yeah, it's great. All right, practitioners, any other small thing, or we're going to go on to the next question? All right, great. Thank you. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you, guys.
Shelley, thank you so much for your question. That was lovely. All right.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yay. All right, Carol, come on, and we want to hear your question.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I'm a reader and a healer, and I don't practice. I just do a regular everyday life, but I have a lot of experience, and I've had fairies in my life forever, and they've saved my butt quite a few times. They play with me. I mean, you know, there's a lot of interaction, not as much right now, but in a lot of places I've lived, and it's been a journey. And in fact, I started putting together a fairy adventure blog on Facebook with the stories. I need to add more. But my question is, I've asked a few of my reading friends about this and what's going on, and why am I back where I lived when I got sick 30 years ago. And what I'm getting is that I'm supposedly channeling earth energy, old emotional earth energy through my body and help neutralizing it to help
Just
cleanse the planet.
it's cutting out ever so slightly. Maybe if you can get a little closer to the microphone. If you
Where
would
is
just
it?
start off again what that message is again so we can all hear
Okay.
it.
So can you hear me better? I'm just getting close. I don't know where the mic is.
No, it's really not picking it up. I wonder what's going on.
Okay. I don't know what to say. I'm in front of the computer.
Is there any background noise that might be competing with you?
Maybe just the TV set. Oh. I have the TV set on listening to you. So
You sound better.
let's see.
You
Now I
sound
can't
even
hear you.
just turning facing your left.
Turn
The
it back
sound is
on.
even better. Just turn and face the left when you're talking a little bit.
Can you hear me? Just shake your head.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, I have to turn my computer speaker on. That might help you very much. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, so I've had friends, my reader friends, tell me that, now I can't see you, but that's okay. It just says Galen.
No, it's okay. It just flashed back on, but you're right here now again.
Okay, so I've had them tell me that while I'm sleeping that I'm helping move old emotional energy off planet Earth, and that through my system I'm helping to neutralize it. And that's partly why I'm back in a place that I got sick 30 years ago, and I think that was part of the journey back then, is starting that process. Scared the crap out of me back then, but now I'm feeling very grateful to be part of that. And I've been told that the fairies actually are helping move that energy to me to help me channel it to neutralize it. So I was just wondering what you guys' hit was on that, and any other messages from my fairies. They have, ever since I got sick, they've been very active and protective in many, many ways. So anyway, that's it. Did that make sense?
I think I mostly got it. I'm taking notes. So is it, I know you said you moved back. Somewhere you moved back to where you were?
Yeah.
Like you're moving old emotional energy?
I moved back to an area I got sick in 30 years ago. And I honestly think that was a shamanic journey sickness that started preparing my body to do this work. And did you hear that part?
Something about when you used to do your work or where you used to do your work?
No, I'm being told that I'm channeling old human emotional energy to my body, and I'm sure there's millions of us doing this on the planet to help cleanse the planet of human emotional.
I'm so sorry. It keeps cutting out. Like there's just so much I'm wanting to hear.
Okay, I think I know what she's saying. Can I try and repeat what you're saying, Carol?
Yeah,
And will you say if so she is now back in a place that she used to live in before, but when she was there before, she was still moving these, we'll just call them shadowy energies from human emotions through her, and it caused her sickness before, but now she's being drawn back to the same place in order to move the energies again through her, but she feels like she's in a different place, so it's okay, and she wants to know what we think about it.
I think that's partly why I'm on the planet. I think 30 years ago was the beginning of that journey, and it was scary, but now I am prepared and skilled in my body.
Okay, but you're back in where you are now, and the same thing is happening, but you know you're not going to get sick from it.
Yes.
Okay, so you just want to know our opinion on it. Okay. So I guess I can start. So what I find super absolutely fascinating about this is, and I don't know why I hadn't really thought of this before, is there's a lot of, we'll just call them galactic people that come here, and they would identify themselves as grid workers. So literally they're being called to certain places on Earth to basically bring these vibrations in, almost like they're an acupuncture point, right? But it's like you are the reverse of that. So it's almost like you're a reverse grid worker, and it would make sense that you would be called to a specific place at this time to move energy from the earth out of you. So almost like a reverse acupuncture point. And so the advice or the guidance that seems to be coming through is just to be very, very aware and to spend a lot of time making sure that you are a clear channel to move this stuff through you, because it's not yours. Apparently this is a soul contract that you have, and to really practice self-care and to work with, it sounds like the Fae are working with you, and to also, I would connect with also some higher, either angelic energies or some, I mean, the Galactics are really solid at this, because it feels a lot like you're a grid worker, and I'm getting a lot to work with sound and to let this energy move through you, because now more than ever, with everything that's been going on with the Black Lives Matter movement, with all the fires and stuff, what's happening is the Earth's crust and her core is literally opening and releasing just old slavery stuff, like everything that we've ever done and have suppressed and repressed is being released from her. It's almost like when I see it, it's like clouds of smoke and stuff. And so what's happening and why some people are feeling a lot of depression and stuff is because these energies out as they're releasing are coming in and they're frequency matching with a lot of the shadow energies that some of us are holding within our subconscious, which is why the dragons have been coming in, trying to get people to look at their subconscious and to release stuff. And that when these things come up to provide energy to help them to be healed. So another thing that you can do is, and we do this a lot in my groups, but anybody can do it, is to connect to the new earth, right? Because you're here as a grid worker to put these, to help stabilize the grids, because we have the new paradigm, the old paradigm, and then there's like these false matrices that are sort of being built in. And so you are here to support the new grid. So if you can align your body with the new earth, which is like the ascended earth, the earth that already is, was, has been, ever will be, right? And with this clarity to have this energy move through your body so that you can just do the work that you came here to do, but don't get so, I don't know what the word is, don't get so worried about it. And it sounds like you're in a really good place with it and that you're doing a lot. And I'm just going to say thank you for doing that work here on this planet, and for all of the grid workers that resonates with you. I mean, I really appreciate it. It's not easy. And it's not something that the earth, I mean, she can pay you through abundance, right? But not like, you can't really like hire the earth for like an hour to pay you. So I am grateful for your work here, and thank you.
Yeah, I have enough skill to keep up with this, you know, to keep my body and soul and everything clear. So it's awesome. Yeah. Sorry.
Hey, Carol.
Go ahead.
I'm just going to jump in real quick and give my quick little tidbit of guidance here. I don't have too much, but there is definitely, Galactic Ashley mentioned soul contracts. There's definitely some soul contract stuff going on. Now I want you to think about vibrationally where you were when you were in this place 30 years ago, with not just in the sickness part, but I want you to think about like what else was going on in your life, particularly in your personal relationships. For some reason, they keep bringing up the personal relationships, and I feel like there is some soul contracts between some other people that are coming up for review again, and this could be with or without this person popping back up again in your life. I'm not saying that they are, that they're going to, but it's just like a sort of coming back around full circle to review this stuff and how you handled it, because I think that this personal stuff had a direct impact on your sickness. Yeah. And You are now working with much different energies than you were. You are Galactic. Ashley mentioned angels. I totally got that too. I mean, I'm cool with angels, but I'm totally fairy. So we just look at the world a little bit differently. But you know, you're working with very high vibrational air fairies and galactic fairies and angels, who I don't identify with personally as much, but I feel their vibration and I can still communicate with them. And how you've gotten to work with these energies is through becoming empowered and conquering the challenges differently than you did before. And you took it upon yourself to renegotiate some of these soul contracts. And so this is sort of like a coming up for review for you, where basically you're at a crossroads, like a portal to choosing how to fully close this book and how to move forward. So it's an opportunity for you. And I think that you feel that. Yeah. So
I'm
that's
not really sure how to deal with it, but yeah, I feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, you feel it. It's opening up right now. So like I said, they're also talking to me a lot about the personal relationship. So I feel like there's like something going on in a personal relationship, and I don't know if that person's gonna pop back up or not, or if they already have. But just be prepared. And again, you know, you are working with very high vibrational beings now, and so you have different tools in the toolbox, my friend, for how to deal with this stuff. And you're empowered now. And I feel like this is going to be a new awakening for you. Okay. And it's just all about how you handle it. And I feel like you're going to come out of this with grace and growth. Grace and growth. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. And it looks like Jamie's in line. Jamie, go ahead. Own Satora after that.
Hi, Carol. I up here. Yeah, it's like, where's the voice coming from? Oh gosh, and then I accidentally turned off my video, which makes it even more awkward. I move earth energy too. That's my innate healing is literally moving earth energy. And the hardest, biggest lesson I had to learn was rest, because I am horrible at that. I'm great at sleeping at night. And then I think, oh, well, that's enough. But if you're doing stuff at night too, you're not really resting. So, you know, this is when you have to be like, you know, like naps are your best friend. You know, just sometimes spending the day trolling Netflix is how we recharge and are able to keep doing all this stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. So my encouragement here is rest is sacred. And, you know, it is not lazy. It is not a waste of time. Those are the things I hear a lot. That's the reason I'm saying them. And I think that may resonate with you based on the look on your face there. So yeah, remember, rest is a very sacred thing that needs to happen when you're somebody working with earth energy, because you're literally connected to it all the time. There's no way to get away from it. So make sure you're resting.
All right, great. And then I know Satora has something. Go ahead, Satora.
So I like my message I'm getting is a little different, and it was very persistent. So I'm going to share. I like the idea of a review. And my guides, the message I'm getting is that the time of sacrificial service is over. We are moving into joyful service. All we light workers, all who came onto the earth to serve, we do not have to sacrifice ourselves anymore in any way. So self-care is most important, and your divine choice, your free will is also most important. And you're not really bound by a soul contract to run these energies through you. You can choose to not do that, and it's not really necessary for you to do that. So it is utterly your choice what you want to do and what you feel is most aligned for you and what serves you best. And it is now time to put yourself first, because what serves you best in serving yourself most and doing the most loving things for yourself, you also help the collective, because we as a collective, we're moving out of this idea that we have to sacrifice ourselves to serve the earth, to serve humanity, to do our service. That's we've been doing this a long time very well, and we're very good at it, and it's very ingrained, but it's unnecessary. The real pioneer thing, the greatest service is to really be loving to yourself first and take your empowerment. And what do you want? What serves you best? What is the most loving thing for you to do? And nobody can tell you this is you are contracted to do this thing. It's just not true. Find out for yourself what your true service is for yourself, what serves you best. That you do not have to be in a situation that is potentially harmful for you. I don't know if it is, but it's your choice to what you want to do. You have the power, and your best service, in my understanding, is to do what serves you best and be loving and caring of yourself. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. All right, who else? Wyatt, did you have something?
Yeah, I want to hop in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what was really ringing for me too, what Jamie the shift was bringing through was really ringing for me too, is rest is very sacred. But before we rest, it's kind of like we need to take out our contacts before we go to bed, right? So I would actually like to impart a tool to you, if that's okay. So clearing, everyone knows clearing or whatnot is to clear the body, get rid of it. And something really easy, I forget the actual technique, but one of my teachers brought it to me. And it's basically you make a disc with your hands, fingers, whatever, and then you go right here at the base of your spine, a few inches away. And you say, universal life force energy for clearing, please clear any and all energy at this time. Or any energy that needs to be cleared at this time, or however you want to phrase it. This is really drawing in that energy, and it's letting it go back into the universe instead of grounding, which is grounding into the earth. And if you're extracting energies, like Galactic Ashley was saying, from the earth that needs to be extracted, you don't want to put it back in the earth. So it needs to go back into the universe in love and light to be transformed and transfigured into love and light. So that's one thing that they're telling me that I should give you, is that tool.
Is it just the one hand?
It can be either hand, your dominant hand. So if you're left-handed, left hand, right-handed, right. And then you just make disc shape. And then about an inch from the spine, about the root chakra area.
And it looked like you also put it on the front at the same time. You put the other one on the front. Was that?
You can. You don't have to. I was also kind of like pulling my shirt up, but.
Okay, wasn't clear. Yeah, all the places. Great.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
You're welcome.
Else?
You can also, oh, sorry. You can also see the different energy centers, like a, well, it's an older camera, where the lens would actually like move, where it twisted it, and it would shut the lens. So that's one thing I've always found helpful to help sort of mitigate the amount that I'm moving through is, you know, kind of closing that aperture. That's the word. Closing that aperture, or letting it be more open when I feel like I can handle more and I can work more. Just sort of changing that aperture. And mine for me is at the top of my head because it blows up or down depending on how I'm working with it. And just mitigating how much can move through that central channel. That's really helpful too.
Thanks.
All right. All right, great. Oh, and people are still joining us. It's amazing. All right. Well, let's see. I'm going to put in the chat one more time, too. If you'd like to get entered into a drawing for a free 30-minute session with one of us of your choice, just fill out that feedback form. That would be great. And just any last things any of you want to share with Carol before we finish up here, and then anything else you'd like to share just about working with the Fae and working with the elementals, and just any other messages you'd like to leave with everyone. Thank you so much, Carol, for your question. Glad that Galactic Ashley could translate a little bit.
Yeah, I have a quick thing. Carol, go forth in love and light, for that is what you are. And then for everyone else, we are nature as much as nature is out there. So we are nature, nature is us. So remember that, walk lightly on Mother Earth and move forward, always.
I would say just remember to trust. Always trust yourself, especially your intuition. Whenever I do meditations, I tell people to end with one hand on your heart, one hand on your stomach, to help you remember to listen to your intuition, but lead with your heart. So that's always some good advice. Listen to your intuition and trust yourself.
Yeah, Cindy's mentioning, yeah, grow your own organic food, and someone else, nature mirrors our true nature. Someone asked, is there such a thing of, have you heard of if body elemental, does Earth have one? I'm not quite sure, Pauline, Pauline, maybe
Earth,
can you say that?
Earth has her own body.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, great. Yeah, if there are any other quick general questions like that about this, we can say anything else too as we're closing up. Yeah.
Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. It was an absolute pleasure to be here, especially with all of you amazing people and practitioners. I always say, just a general rule of thumb, for anyone that wants to get closer to fairy, the best way to do that is by getting closer to the earth, just like everyone else has said. Treat the earth the same, everything on the earth that you come into contact with, the same way that you would want to treat a fairy friend, because that is literally who you're communicating with when you're dealing with the grass, the trees, everything outside. And so pick up your trash, even if you didn't drop it and you see it, pick it up, please. They love that. Take care of the earth. Take care of plants, talk to plants, communicate with them, and treat the Fae as if you would treat any other loved one or close friend, and do the same things for them, a warm cup of tea, a shot of whiskey, sparkly crystals, talking out loud to them, being kind and being respectful. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. And there's a question in the panel. I don't know how to pronounce this, so someone else.
She and fairy.
Yeah, can anyone comment about the difference between them?
Oh, yes, I can. Yes, she, which looks like, as it's spelled, it looks like Sidhe. So a lot of people who aren't familiar with the word will say it like that, but it is pronounced she. And so that word is a Celtic word that literally means fae, or the fae folk. It's an old Gaelic word. It originates back from the time of the original fairies, who would be the Tuatha Dé Danann. So it literally is just a Celtic Gaelic word for fae folk. And usually, you know, when I hear somebody use that term, I feel like they're already probably familiar with the old ways of fairy, with the ancient fairy. And a lot of times they're familiar with the Celtic deities, the Tuatha De Danann. And that could be, I could talk all night about that, but yeah, so there's no difference. It's just a Celtic Gaelic word for the Fae folk.
That's great. I want to say too, for people that watch the video and won't see it in the chat, it's spelled Sidhe. And then there's another question from Gayleen. Which one of you folks can I contact in the future about elemental photos and ID the beings? I see them and I have no idea who I'm seeing or why. Was anyone able to help with that? Any of the practitioners? Oh, okay, the River Witch Fairy can do that. Great. And then Robin asked, I'm wondering, if I have anything to say about your energy. Okay, yeah, because you asked a question earlier. Let me go back and let me get your, where are you? Okay, there you go. Just pin you for a moment. Oh yeah, it's interesting too. It's interesting who showed up tonight. We have generally more of the, it's just interesting. We have very light, airy, energy sensitive people, and we have a bunch more community people. And so you're one of the more community people. So again, you're also similar to the woman in some ways that has the 4 sisters. So you have a grounded energy that also connects with groups, like you sense patterns around you. That'll make sense. And you love learning. You're always absorbing information. Okay. Yeah, so there's like information, concrete information and patterns. And so really playing with information and stories and communication and learning and all those kinds of things. Yeah. Great, yeah, so the towns are called Scholar and Sage are the 2 things that I was talking about in your eyes. Yeah, because you asked a question earlier. All right, great.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
I just wanted to say something really quick about the person that's taking the photos. And this is more of a why kind of, and I think it's important to know when we are working with technology, our consciousness fields are merging with our technology. So several people can go out to take images, and some people will get elementals, some people will get orbs, some people will get all kinds, angels, whatever it is. But whatever you align with will be what you are getting, because your consciousness is merging with the technology. And it's also important to understand that when we're working with technology, is that energetically we're merging with the technology. So it's important to unmerge when you're done using the technology, I find, because in a lot of ways we're creating these sort of portals in our electronics. So the why that you're getting elementals is probably because you are very aligned with elemental energies, and that's sort of who you are working with at this point. And I think that it's fabulous for people to go out and take orb photos, but also to remember how we work with technology, I think is really important. That's all.
Great, great. All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, panel members. This has been great fun. I'm so glad we were together tonight too, with being here, hearing about Ruth passing. All right. Yeah. And we have many more events coming up. This Sunday, we have a panel on animal communication, spirit animals and spirit guides. And then on Saturday, the 26th, next weekend, we're going to have another fair. So from 5 to 9 p.m. Pacific time. About 16 practitioners. And then very similar to this panel and different, we're going to have a panel on Friday, October 2 on working with the angels and the serendipities. So I know I have one practitioner in particular that works with the serendipities. She'll be there, and a number of practitioners that work with the angels. So we look forward to being with you again. And I'm going to post this recording on the MeWe Fair's Facebook page if you want to go back and watch any of it again. And I put a link in the chat if you want to participate in that drawing for the free 30-minute session. So practitioners, if you want to go around again too, just so we have it in the recording, go ahead and share your name, what you do, and your website or other contact info so people can find you. So practitioners, just leap around and share. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Cindy McGonagle, and I'm a psychic medium. I also work as an animal communicator. I work with all the realms, actually. And you'll see me on multiple panels with Laureli. And you can find me online in my YouTube channel and on Facebook as well. And it's been a pleasure to combine my energies with all of the practitioners tonight and all of those who are in the audience as well. thank you so much for being interested in working with the fairy, the elementals, and the earth. All of your energies matter. Thank you.
All right, Cindy, if you want to spell out your name so people can find you, because they can't see the chat from the video.
Cindy, and my last name is McGonagle, McGonagle, like Professor McGonagall and Harry Potter.
Great, thank you. All right, who else wants to jump in?
I'll jump in. I'm Galactic Ashley, and I channel divine guidance for star seeds, connecting them to their star families and galactic lineages. And I use light language frequencies to work with your cosmic connections to facilitate high frequency healing transmissions and encoded activations. I have a $25 off of a star session or dragon lineage session for the first 3 people to use MeWe -stargate-25, or you can go ahead and just contact me through my website at galacticashley.com or email me at info@galacticashley.com. And I always love being on these MeWe panels because they're so much fun. So it was lovely working with all of you tonight.
Thank you so much, Galactic Ashley. And I'm going to put the practitioner's information in order as they're sharing in the chat. Who else wants to share?
Hey everyone, this is Rina-fay London. Once again, the River Witch Fairy. You can find me on Facebook. You can also find me on Instagram. I am a Celtic fairy shaman and psychic who also works a little bit with astrology, and all of that work comes through by working directly with the fae and the elementals. Forgive me if I'm a little lagging. It's like midnight here, so now I'm getting tired, guys. But I am running a special for anyone who's tuning into the event tonight. I'm running a special on readings with the fae. And I think that special is for $30. So just mention this event if you would like to book a fairy reading. And yeah, it's always a pleasure. This is my second panel. And yeah, it's been an absolute blast. Thank you so much, and blessed be.
Great, thank you. All right, great. Who else?
I'll hop in. Right? Yeah, okay. I'm Wyatt. I'm a shamanism practitioner. I combine the ancient practices and techniques of shamanism found throughout the world, including soul retrieval, extraction, power retrieval, soul remembering, so on and so forth. I combine those with the modern techniques of life coaching to be able to help you and my clients to begin or continue your path of healing. Our healing is always going on. Once we start it, it never ends. So yeah, I give you these navigatory tools so you can be able to do that on your own after we complete our sessions. So yeah, had so much fun tonight. This is my first panel, but I do the MeWe fairs almost monthly, so I'm super excited to be here. Yeah, head over to my website, thewildwoodhollow.com, and I look forward to seeing you all.
Great, great. Thank you, Wyatt. All right, who's next?
Hi, I'm Satora with Well of Love. I'm a channel and an energy healer and an authentic relating facilitator. I also have a special 30% off of an hour session or a half-hour session. And if you are have financial hardship, you can have up to 70% off. I wanted a little message for the end that there is intelligence in everything around us, and there is always support on all kinds of different levels, and you don't need to be special to connect with any of these intelligences or with divine love or with the fairy. You just ask. we need to communicate and ask for what we want or ask for connection. We just really need to ask, because we have the free will, and nobody can, none of those beings can go against that. So just talk, and even if you don't know who you're talking to, it doesn't matter. Just communicate. If you want something or want to know something, they're all here, and somebody will hear you, or somebody with probably not a body, but they'll hear you. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Did Galactic Ashley share? Who else is left?
Me. Hi, I'm Jamie, the Shift Witch, and I am here tonight for this beautiful elemental and fae panel. I'm really glad that I got to be a part of this with such really wonderful practitioners alongside me. I offer compassionate coaching, and I have a group coaching program starting October 1st. It'll last for 3 full moons, and it's called 3 Full Moons. So if you want to check that out, you can actually go to 3fullmoons.com, or you can go to theshiftwitch.com. I'm also on Instagram, YouTube. I'm popping up all over the place lately. And if you mention that you saw me at this panel, there is a 44% discount to join 3 Full Moons. So remember to trust yourself. Remember to rest when you need to. Remember that you are loved and loving, and to always believe in yourself and love yourself.
All right, that's great. And I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. Answer all kinds of questions on life, leadership, and love. And I also run the MeWe events, so MeWe fairs. You can find us online at MEWEFAIRS.com. And then you can find out more about me at LaureliShimayo.com. That's LaureliShimayo.com. And you can find out more about the archetypes that I read in people's eyes that I call Thrive Types at ThriveTypes.com. It's been great being here with you, and I look forward to more. Thank you, practitioners. Thank you, everyone, for your questions, for your curiosity, for holding space and playing with us. All right, we look forward to being with you again soon. Bye.
Yeah.
And fill out that form if you want to be put in the drawing for the free 30-minute session with one of us of your choice. I'll go ahead and
Where is the form?
I'll give it to you in the chat one more time right here. Here
Okay.
it is. And yeah, just click the link and it should take you right to the form, and fill it out, and we'll do the drawing in a few days.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. All right, great. Yeah, we'll just wait for a minute or two, make sure you can get that link, and then we'll move people out to the waiting room, and practitioners who want to hang out, we will chat in a few minutes. All right, great.